It is Monday, March the 23rd. And seriously, where did the month go? Was it free agency just yesterday?
Man.
We got lots to go over. More trades around the NFL, big contract extensions. We're going to do some free agency and trade grades. And that is going to be a long show to get through. So do us a favor, kick back, relax, because another episode of Unbiased starts right now. And welcome everybody back into another edition of Unbiased, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio, coming to you guys live from a windy, damp, rainy Hamilton, New Jersey. I feel like every Monday it rains.
It's just New Jersey. It's just another day.
It is. We just get wind and rain in March. We don't get nothing else. We get like one day where it's like 116 degrees, and then after that it's all over. Then we're back into we feel like winter almost every day again. But as always, Sam Nelson, Tyler Adams. Mr. Adams, how are we doing today?
No complaints. Just anxiously waiting this upcoming draft in the next month.
Yeah, well, I'm at battle with a spider on my desk, so if you see me wave for the freaking fences over here, it's because 8 legs versus 1 hand is going to be the battle. But anyway, so look, we got a big show today. Lots of NFL stuff to still go over. The offseason isn't done. We are nowhere near the end. And it kicked off once again last week with a huge breaking trade. Last Tuesday, Denver Broncos finally get the wide receiver they've been looking for. They agreed to a trade with the Miami Dolphins for Jaylen Waddle. Now, just to summarize the trade, Jaylen Waddle and a 2026 fourth-round pick head to the Broncos, and the Dolphins get back a 2026 first-rounder, a 2026 third-rounder. They also get a 2026 fourth. So basically, it's for a first, a third, and we do fourth. We're pick swapping in the fourth round for Jaylen Waddle. Now, the question I want to start the show off with, Tyler, is Jaylen Waddle the missing piece the Broncos needed? We did run a poll question for this over the weekend, and this actually took a turn that I was not expecting. 56% of the vote says no.
Ooh.
While 44% of the vote says yes. So, Tyler, I will leave it up to you. Is Jaylen Waddle the missing piece in Denver?
Ooh. This is an interesting one. I can totally see the people who voted no. I mean, there's arguments to be made for both sides here. But when you break the Broncos team down from last year, their defense was the dominant force. Their offense didn't have to score that many points week in and week out. Obviously, they want to have a better passing attack with Bo Nix. And Courtland Sutton, he was a good wide receiver one, maybe, only has a total of 3,000-yard seasons in, 8 years in the league. Does that scream number one wide receiver? Not really. It screams a very good number two, which insert Jaylen Waddle, who is heading into his 6th year. He started off his career with 3 1,000-yard seasons. His best came in 2022. And then the past couple of years, he missed a couple of games in 2024. He ended that season with 744 yards. And then last year, he played 16 games and he had 910 yards. So we all know it's kind of hard to put up 1,000-yard season when you're down to like your third string quarterback throwing you the football most weeks. So I do like the prospect of getting him with Bo Nix and pairing him next to Cortland Sutton. I think with them two side by side now, you can have a lot scarier of a passing attack. And I do think Jaylen Waddle's going to come in as the pure number one receiver. And I think immediately out the door, we could see like a 1,200-yard season out of him. And I think we could easily see Cortland Sutton maybe get to the 900, maybe 1,000-yard range, which is kind of where he seems to hover around year in, year out. But I personally feel like this is their missing piece. Defensively, they're still the same team. They're still going to be dominant, top 5 in the league. Offensively, you got to get more consistency from the run game, but I do like the second-year prospect of, what's his name, R.J. Harvey. And, you know, maybe if you can get J.K. Dobbins to play more than 10 games in a season, that'll help too.
I don't disagree. And before I give my opinion on the entire thing, the chat's flying off. Mikey, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, Mikey?
Oh, Mikey, yes, down go the Gators. I don't know who taught them full court defense, but it was not in that final play.
Yikes.
You can't let the guy catch the basketball and start heading right up the court. It's exactly how you lose every time.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey, I think Denver may have the best chance right now in the AFC to go to the Super Bowl. They were probably going last year if Bo Nix doesn't break his leg.
Yeah.
Dustin, if anything, if Minnesota gets back a 4th-round pick for J.J. McCarthy, I would gladly give a promotion to everybody in the front office.
Yeah. That would be a steal. An absolute steal. But I'm not surprised they're trying to shop him. I mean, there's a reason you re-sign Carson Wentz for $3 million. Fully guaranteed.
Where's my jersey at?
They were practically on their knees begging him to come back to back up Kyler Murray.
Where's my jersey so I can get the revenge tour back on the tracks here? Hey, that was fun last year. I was on the revenge tour for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Mikey, that's not a bad prediction. That could be a potential Super Bowl matchup next year with the way things are going. Yeah. And this comment, I agree with him. I think you thought this past year's the league was tight with teams contending. I don't know what's going to happen next year.
I know. I think it's going to be a lot closer in a lot of these divisions.
However, though, back to the Waddle trade. If you look at it, I think Cortland Sutton is the biggest benefit. He benefits the most out of this deal. I've always thought he is just a perfect wide receiver too. I thought if he's a wide receiver 1, it's okay. It is what it is, but I never thought he was the end-all, be-all consensus wide receiver 1.
No.
On a good team, I think he is a perfect wide receiver too. I think Jaylen Waddle is the missing piece. Where people don't see it, I don't know. I mean, this is all we said last year was, can we get Bo Nix his number 1 option? And they had a good group of guys last year. You know, they had Sutton, they have Troy Franklin, they have Marvin Mims, they have Evan Ingram. Like you said with the run game, I think R.J. Harvey, who I really like coming out of the draft last year, is poised for a big year. Can we get 10 games out of J.K. Dobbins this year, shall we? And that defense, which is so elite and so lethal and so dominant. I mean, it single-handedly was doing its best to get Denver to the Super Bowl with freaking Jarrett Stidham as their quarterback. I mean, my God. I mean, Denver would have took Carson Wentz at that point.
I think they would have took JJ McCarthy at that point.
I don't know about that now. That's a that's a dangerous topic to go at right there. Now, I can understand where some concern with Waddle comes in. I mean, it busted onto the scene, but the past 2 years, it's gone down. I mean, we went from 1,000 yards to 1,300 yards to barely over 1,000 to 744. Now this year went back up to 910, but
Sam, we know the reason. Who was responsible for throwing him the football those years? Those down years. It wasn't Tua because
yes.
Tua was out for a lot of it. And then last year, go figure, Tua's probably the healthiest he's been in his whole career, and their entire offense just stinks.
Well, I'm blaming that on I still blame a lot of that on Tua, yes, and I'm sorry, I still don't think Mike McDaniel's a great head coach.
Oh, I don't either. Because McDaniel wasn't there when Waddle had his breakout onto the scene. First few years in the league.
He wasn't?
I don't think he was. I don't, because Waddle has played 5 seasons now. McDonald was not with the Dolphins for 5 seasons.
I thought McDaniel was there for 5 seasons.
Was he?
I gotta look that up now because now I gotta make sure that we're.
When did Mike McDaniel join the Dolphins? 2022. So after the 2021 season, which Waddle, that was his rookie year. Okay, so all right, technically, the first 2 years under McDonald. The first year he had his career year. And then it went down. Then it went down. And then it went down.
Well, and I think a bigger question that people are going to start asking is how productive will Jaylen Waddle be without a guy like Tyreek Hill on the other side?
I was just going to say that's a big shadow casted over him because he was playing as the sidekick to Tyreek Hill. It's a lot easier, honestly, to be productive as a sidekick when you're not the main focus of every defensive coordinator. Now, that role is going to go to Courtland Sutton. Now, Waddle's going to be the main focus to take out of games. So, it's tough. But still, overall, having those two types of wide receivers next to each other, it's just going to be impactful on its own. Maybe you do only get 1,000-yard season out of Waddle. But then that might also translate to 1,000, 1,100-yard season out of Courtland Sutton.
Yeah, I think Sutton and Waddle complement each other perfectly. I think their skill sets are completely different. I think one side of the field you have Sutton, who's just the intermediate guy who could be that big body presence. Waddle's the playmaker, get the ball in his hands, see what happens. I also really like Troy Franklin potentially operating out of the slot. I think Waddle can also just operate out of the slot a little bit. But also, really quick, Mikey, we're going to get into them in a little bit. We'll talk about them, but we're chilling. We're waiting for the draft.
Oh, yeah.
Get me to the draft. That's what I'm saying. Dustin, I completely agree with this point. I think this is a very generous way of saying to JJ, yeah, you're probably not going to be here much longer.
You're not going to be
here. No. Oh, dear. Dustin wants DeAndre Hopkins to be the number 3.
I think I heard a rumor that it was one of the two that said they wouldn't mind a reunion. I think it was Murray that said he wouldn't mind a reunion with D-Hop in Minnesota.
No, actually, I think it was because I also think D-Hop said something too because TMZ Sports likes to hang around airports now apparently, which that's cool.
It was cool. It was one of the two of them that said that they wouldn't mind a reunion. Which, I mean, hey, get Kyler Murray, someone who he was familiar with for the good parts of his early career, along with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, that's pretty scary. I feel bad for Hawkinson at that point. He's just gonna be running around the field lost.
He's gonna be getting cardio in. And I mean, you need someone to fill that void left by Jalen Naylor. So I mean,
Yeah.
can't be the worst thing. I think D Hop's at that point of his career anywhere where he's kind of just like that wide receiver three.
Oh yeah, exactly.
We saw Baltimore try to milk whatever
Yeah.
number one wide receiver stuff he had left, and it didn't work out too well.
Oh.
But I think a very lost aspect in this whole thing with Waddle is getting him in an offense that Sean Payton runs and putting him in that situation with this team and having a damn good quarterback in Bo Nix. I've always been a Bo Nix guy after I saw him play. I know in the beginning we were all kind of like, when they took him, we were like, okay. And some of us, we did. People laughed at the fact that the Broncos took him in the first round. A lot of people laughed at it. But we came on here and said about 2-3 weeks after, if a guy likes a guy for his system, this is what's going to happen.
I would just like to go on a complete side note here and throw something out there that I just randomly saw on ESPN. The UConn women's basketball team is currently up 91-33 against Syracuse. They started the game 31-0.
UConn's women's basketball is just the most unfair thing in the world.
It's ridiculous. Wow. But anyways, back to our regular program.
Back to our more scheduled programming here.
That just boggled my mind. I couldn't believe that.
Mikey, I don't know if the Ravens are going to finish that bad.
Nah, I think a lot of the Ravens' struggles last year were having Lamar out, and their defense was kind of abysmal. I think they'll get it back on track this year. I could see at minimum 10 wins.
If they fix the rest of the needs they have.
Yeah.
Tustin said the Vikings have 3 quarterbacks that are owed $6.4 million between 3 of them. Yeah, I mean, one of them's got to work, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Well, someone's got to work out in this, right? But yeah, I would love to know what the thought process is that people don't think Jaylen Waddle is the missing piece. I guess maybe are we asking ourselves, can he be the consensus one number one wide receiver? That's what I think we're trying to get here. Is like, can he be the guy that doesn't play next to Tyreek Hill?
I think he can. I mean, that's who he was coming out of Alabama. He kind of got put into a situation where, honestly, could kind of say similar to Devontae Smith. Put into a situation where you could be viewed as a number one, but you're stuck as a number two, technically, on the depth chart. So, yeah. I mean, there's only one way to tell. We got to see if he has what it takes week 1 and with the season upcoming. But I do like what you said about getting him with the offensive mind of Sean Payton, because Waddle's best career year was his second year in the league, which was the first year under McDaniel. So obviously McDaniel kind of splashed on the scene, and then the NFL figured him out, and he really wasn't that great. Their offenses weren't that great after that. But in that 2022 season, oh my gosh, that offense was high-powered.
I mean, Mikey, if Justin Fields is playing for the Chiefs at that point, is it really?
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Did anyone see that today? That Travis Kelce signed a 3-year deal?
Wait, 3 years?
His deal is for 3 years.
Nah, this dude's retiring after the first.
Nah, that's not what he's saying.
He was probably like, you know what? Let's sign for 3. And if I retire, I retire.
But why not just sign why not just sign 1 year? Just say, all right, this is it.
I guess because then teams can't go after him.
Okay. So he ultimately could say
Yeah,
that, oh, hey, I'm not going anywhere else. Like, what does he need the.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure they have the reasons.
Sure, whatever the reasons are, that's awesome. Yeah, here it's a 3-year, $54.7 million deal that could be worth up to 57.7. Wait, yeah, that could be worth up to 57 million.
Wow.
It's an average of 18 million a year. He literally signed a new 3-year deal to stay in Kansas City. Oh, Penn State offensive lineman Vega Luane visited the Eagles today. Oh boy. Oh boy, here we go.
Let me get a Hawaiian on our offensive line.
I'll always take that. And Dustin said Kelsey wants every record possible for a tight end. He is taking a 3-year deal to try and set unreachable records for. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, well, he has some pretty high standards to live up to. So,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, wow, we went from was he retiring 2 years ago to now he's going to play for another 3? Where did this come from?
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We will
Okay.
see if he can keep up that high level of play because the play wasn't that high last year.
Play hasn't been high for the past 2 years.
Yeah. So,
I don't.
good luck, Chiefs fans.
Oh, the Chiefs need to wish themselves luck on. Will any of our quarterbacks have an offensive line to protect them? Because we don't have one right now.
That's why they went with mobile. Fields will just be
Yeah.
running for his life like he's done in every offense he's been in so far in his career.
Which I hate because I think putting him, and that's the crazy thing, because an Andy Reid led team is always so fixated on the offensive line, and now it's kind of just there. And it's not good. I mean, Creed Humphrey's great. I think Josh Simmons is going to be great, but the rest of it,
Yeah.
Trey Smith is still really good, but like it
Honestly,
turns out like
their O
the
line
rest.
is something that they're just going to keep trying to fix through the draft. I don't think they're going to ever spend big in free agency again. I feel like they've kind of burned themselves doing that. I think they're just over it.
Yeah, I mean,
You got to think
Javante.
they hit off Creed Humphrey a few years ago. You probably hit off of Simmons. I mean, give him more time to hopefully this year he has a more dominant year, a healthy year. Because didn't he get hurt again last year?
He was dinged up, but he was also coming off that big injury that he had at Ohio State the year prior. Get him a year healthier, and hopefully he can turn into the because he was. If he doesn't get hurt at Ohio State, he's going top 10 regardless. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. So I think that's what the Chiefs are more focused on because it also helps you stay cheaper.
Oh yeah, we know about being cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin said, I feel Kelsey has a bounce back year this year. No one is happy how their season ended last year, and I think Kelsey comes back extra. Oh, well.
Well, he's not going to have Mahomes throwing the ball week 1, so. Well, I don't think he will. Not going to close the door on anybody's injuries after seeing Jason Tatum.
Oh, I thought we were talking about when Mahomes got shot up at halftime during the Super Bowl against
Oh, well,
us.
yeah, that's too. That too. So you see my point here. Anything's possible.
Modern medicine is a lovely thing, people.
Yeah. I mean, back when Aaron Rodgers was on the Jets, I mean, if only they had a shot of at least being 500, he may have came back.
Possibly. But yeah, I think the Chiefs and I like what the Chiefs have done. It's just they have to fix the offensive line now because now they finally have a run game again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Now their secondary is a problem.
Yeah, but they've lost guys every year on that side of the football, and it feels like they just still find a way to replace them.
Yeah, which hey, credit to scouting.
I mean, let's just run through this. Offensively, you're going to have Patrick Mahomes when healthy, Kenneth Walker, Travis Kelsey, Rasheed Rice, and Xavier Worthy. Could they use another wide receiver? I
She
absolutely think
Rice
so.
pending legal trouble.
Okay, listen here, buddy. Let's not go down that road right now, okay?
It's funny you said
On the
right.
off on the offensive line, your top three mainstays are Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Josh Simmons. Still need a right tackle, still need a left guard. Defensively, still anchored by Chris Jones. Still have George Karlaftis. Yeah, probably needs some work. They did sign Tonga, the defensive tackle for the Patriots, so that'll help them a little bit. You still have Nick Bolton. Still have Drew Tranquil. Probably use cheaper option at off the ball linebacker. And that secondary, I mean, they did sign Aloe Gilman, who was with the Ravens last year. When he got over to Baltimore, their defense really picked it up. So Noel Williams, the kid they took out of Cal in the third round last year, who actually played a lot better during the latter part of the season. So, but I mean, no, you're right, though. They have lost a lot. They lost Trent McDuffie. You lose Jalen Watson. You lose Brian Cook. So, secondary needs a lot of work. But again, when you draft and scout as well as the Chiefs do, you'll probably find a decent amount of them.
Dustin, I just gotta ask, what what makes you think he'll be able to win it if he doesn't play the whole year? Because like
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
when
I get the idea of it, but I would feel like he'd have to play the entire year to earn that regard.
yeah, like I agree. I would not put it past it, but is he going to be on the field enough to win that award? Like, I mean, how
Like
many?
if he plays, let's say he plays first 6 weeks of the season, I don't think that's enough.
No,
And realistically, I think Mahomes is definitely back within the first 6 weeks.
you know why Dustin's comments pinned there. Shout out to Andrew McCutcheon, who made the Texas Rangers opening day roster.
Oh man,
I get to
old
watch him hit a.
man Kutch still out there.
I get to see him take Christopher Sanchez deep on Thursday and have us lose 1-0.
Oh no.
We don't hit on opening day. Never have. Now, this is a point he does make as well that Reed has worked with mobile quarterbacks. McNabb, Smith, Michael Vick. He also, I mean, look what he did with Michael Vick.
Yeah, he did.
Week 12, Dustin says. Is that?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's going to be that. I mean, that's pushing us into no. That's the end of November.
Yeah, I don't know about that. And honestly, I know I would typically say if someone's playing well, why rush him back? But it's Patrick Mahomes. If he gets cleared and he's ready to go, they're gonna let him go because he's the only way that they have a shot of going back to another Super Bowl. Justin Fields might help them compete. He's not winning the Super Bowl with the Chiefs.
But again, are the Chiefs really just focused this year on getting him Patrick Mahomes 100%? Kind of
They might.
not like I don't want to make this sound like an NBA team and like tanking the season, but are they kind of just in a transition year where let's draft a bunch of really good young players, let's see what we have, we'll let Fields start the year, we'll see what happens afterwards, and then when Patrick's ready to come back, he'll be 100% instead of rushing him back like other teams tend to do. Also, just I want to answer this real quick. Mikey, the schedule release is Wednesday, May the 13th. So that's when we'll find out the schedule for the 2026 season. And Dustin said, "Hear me out. If Fields plays well for 8 games, I would keep riding the hot hand until Mahomes is 100%." Yeah, and honestly, if the Chiefs feel like maybe that won't come until a full season out, they may play him the whole week, the whole time. But I see the point here.
Yeah.
Some of these teams get so desperate to rush their guys back to get back into contention. The Chiefs are like, "Dude, we've won how many Super Bowls already with this guy? We're good. We could take a transition year." Because I think the Chiefs, Mahomes even if Mahomes was 100%, in my opinion, they're in a transition year because so much is gone from the teams that have won the Super Bowls. I mean, that entire defense is going to look different next year.
Yeah.
And again, the O line is absolutely a problem. It's been a problem for years. They couldn't run the football at all last year. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was the leading rusher in almost every game that he played. That's embarrassing enough. But I would just, like I said, I'm not tanking the season. I'm not calling it a tank year, but I'm getting as much young talent in the room as I can on any side of the ball. I'm having a transition year. Let Fields start, see what happens. Like I said, Dustin said, Andy has worked with mobile quarterbacks. Donovan before he got hurt, and then Michael Vick. I mean, he knows how to work with them. And Justin Fields is talented. We know he is.
Yeah.
He's just been in every dog shit situation in terms of a quarterback. He went to the Bears before Ben Johnson. Everything before Ben Johnson was a joke. Then he goes to the Steelers, and the Steelers haven't developed a quarterback since Ben, which is 22 years ago. And then he went to the Jets. Oh, yay, that's really the savant of saving a quarterback's life. The Jets.
Oh, the
who
Jets
somehow
who
ruined
brought in a defensive-minded head coach. That's who they expected to save Justin Fields' career.
Yeah, you know it's sad that Aaron Rodgers left the Jets, went to the Steelers, and looked better, and the Steelers haven't developed a quarterback, like I said, for 22 years.
Damn.
Georgie!
What's up, Georgie?
What's up, brother? Georgie, how are the overnights? Are they killing you yet? Trust me, Tyler and I know about that overnight life.
Can't be worse than the 49ers injury reports.
Okay. See, Missy, that's you, not me. I like what the Niners have done, so I'm not going to do that. You are terrible, Mr.
Sorry,
Adams.
George. I'm sorry.
You are terrible.
Sorry. It's
I
been
don't
a
think
while.
you are.
It's been a while. All right. We got to get the 49ers some mention on this show.
We bring them up every week.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, honestly, Dustin's not wrong. Fields actually wasn't bad for the Jets. It's just the Jets are the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, the one credit I will give to him is he did not turn the ball over much. They didn't move the ball much, but he didn't turn it over.
No,
but it's the Jets. He's not the problem with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers was not the problem with the Jets.
No.
Sam Darnold wasn't the problem with the Jets.
The New York Jets are what's the problem with the New York Jets.
Yes. There's a trend here.
And also, he didn't play bad in Pittsburgh. They were winning when he was at quarterback.
They were.
This is, again, I feel like this is the potential of, you could see, I'm not going to say to the same level, you could start to see a possible Sam Darnold trend with Justin Fields. He's still young enough and has still too much talent to not have someone.
So, can you answer me this? They traded for him. How many years is left on his contract?
I think it's only this year.
Only this year. So he's a free agent after this year. This is the perfect situation for him. No matter if it's 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks that he gets to start, he could be lining his pockets during free agency next year. Because there's always teams that need a quarterback. Always.
Yes, it's after this year. He signed a 2-year, $40 million deal with the Jets last offseason.
Okay. So, I mean, that lines up for him well. Him getting traded to the Chiefs was probably the best thing a struggling quarterback could have ever had happen, and the luckiest, with the fact that Mahomes will not be ready to start the season.
Yeah. And like we said again, he's gone to 3 situations, which are 3 of the worst quarterback situations you could ever think of. And now you put him with a real offensive mind, with real offensive weapons. I mean, the guy's going to have Rashee Rice, which again, yes, is he a wide receiver 1 on most teams? Probably not. He's probably a better wide receiver 2, but you have Xavier Worthy, who they still think can be a playmaker. You're going to have a really good run game with Kenneth Walker. Oh, by the way, now you get to throw to probably the top 3 greatest tight end of all time, depending on what your opinions are of him. So I mean, like he could. This will benefit him, and yeah, could I see him having a good year and getting something like what Seattle gave Sam Darnold? You bet your freaking behind I can see it. We both still believe there's talent in Justin Fields. We are told we are crazy.
And we'll be crazy as long as he keeps getting more opportunities.
Yeah, so clearly teams see something in him because he keeps getting the opportunities.
Yep.
And if Andy sees something, then
yeah,
I mean, Andy could have went Adele.
The Chiefs could have just went with what I think Minshew was backing up Mahomes last year.
Yes.
They could have just went back to him and said, all right, it's going to be a down, rough year, guys. Buckle up. But they said, no, we're not bringing him back. And then they go and trade for Fields. So clearly they believe Fields gives them a chance to compete still in the AFC.
And I mean, they could have signed Kyler for the league minimum.
Yeah, they could have. Kirk Cousins is still out there.
They could have traded for Geno Smith. Who knows?
Oh my gosh, Geno. Jeez.
Well, actually, playing Geno twice a year probably tells you shouldn't trade for Geno.
I mean, I'm glad that Geno's having his full circle moment because then he's going to be at the retirement age.
Which, by the way, you are freaking welcome because I texted you the Sunday before free agency and I said, bold prediction, Geno back to the Jets. It didn't happen in a free agent move. It happened in a trade. I told you it was going to happen.
You did. You called it.
Because it's the perfect. But see, here's the thing. This is what a bad team should do. Now you got Geno for 2 years like you're a bridge quarterback until your quarterback comes out, whether it's Arch, Moore, whoever.
Man, Arch is going to find a way to get another year of eligibility somehow if the Jets are knocking at number 1. Yo,
he'll get drafted first overall from at the age that Peyton won his last Super Bowl. He's like, I ain't going to the Jets. Well, that's how bad the Jets will probably be forever. But anyway, he's like, I'm about to pull the Diego Pavia. I ain't coming out till I'm 29. But that's my point now. You have a guy that is your stopgap bridge quarterback who is probably bad enough to lose you a bunch of football games. I'm sorry. But this is what bad teams are supposed to do. Now, they've made some moves. I like what they've done. They've tried to revamp the defense, and I think they've done a decent job at it. You know, Breece Hall's still in the mix. Franchise tagged or not, he's still in the mix, so we have to see what happens there. But this is exactly what a team like the Jets should do.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Dustin said, think about this. Fields, Walker, and Worthy run triple option gadget plays. That won't be easy to defend. You're not wrong, Dustin. That's a lot of movement. There's a lot of motion and movement on those plays. Have fun trying to defend it. Well, no, yeah. Again, I think Fields I think he's going to thrive in Kansas City. I think it's a perfect fit.
You want my bold prediction for the Jets?
Oh, dear God.
They draft Carson Beck.
See, that's fine because I am afraid they're going to draft Drew Aller, and I really don't want them to.
I want Drew Aller to go to the Rams. I want that to happen.
My God, why?
Sam, I get it. That'll be a nightmare for the Eagles in the NFC for years to come. But just think about it. Because it's.
Do you understand?
Sam, what's the title of our show, Sam?
I know, But no. Here's the difference. Do you understand the amount of coaching malpractice that I had to watch Drew Aller go through over his career? James Franklin was coaching this man like he was freaking Alex Smith. And that's no disrespect to Alex Smith, but he just wanted Aller to dink and dunk his way down the field when the guy is a 6'5" freaking athlete with a cannon for an arm, and he's
Does
out
he
there
not
running.
remind you of Matthew Stafford, a young Matthew Stafford with that big
He
can?
could. I mean, he could. Look, we can't, like you said, we have to live up to the name.
Yeah,
We
but
can't
that's
forget what
why I
last year
think
was.
I know, but that's why he goes into a system not expected to even be a starter for like 2 years, maybe 3, who knows. But if you can just ride that out and allow him to learn more and grow more, I mean, geez, by the time he does get a chance to start, he could be a hell of a quarterback in the NFL.
I'm telling you, his first workout, a team says, "All right, throw a deep ball go route." He's probably like, "What's that?"
Oh man,
Because James never let him do it.
Dustin, I'd be so upset for him if that happened.
But it's a valid point. Teams will take quarterbacks in the back end of that first round because the 5th-year option is so crucial when it comes to having them for that extra year and paying them.
Yeah. So I mean, if that happens, I'm already kind of removing the Rams from the equation because I don't think they take him in the first round because the Rams are clearly in. We need to make our team the best we can right now to win this year or the next year. They're not going to think about the future yet.
This Another good point here is about Frank Reich being the OC. I mean, if you look at the quarterbacks that he has worked with, Andrew Luck, Carson Wentz, they are almost the similar. Balor's almost the similar type of player to them. A big,
Yeah.
strong quarterback with a good arm that he's not going to run for his life every play. He's not going to be like a Justin Fields or a
It's
Michael Vick,
mobile
but he's
enough.
going to. He can, he's mobile enough. So that is. Oh God, Drew Aller's going to go from James Franklin to the New York
I
Jets.
still just feel like the Jets are just a cursed franchise. Love Frank Reich, but I feel like the Jets are just this dark cloud over any player.
Tyler, you could take the New York Jets with Bill Belichick on the staff, Andy Reid, Mike Holmgren, all the greatest coaches of all time. They'd still only win 3 games.
Because they're the Jets.
Exactly. Just a modern day coaches. You could have Andy Reid as the head coach, Sean McVay as the offensive coordinator, and Mike McDonald as the defensive coordinator, and they'd still be the worst team in the league because of the New York freaking Jets. I don't want to think of Drew Aller on the Jets. I really don't.
Me neither. We need to stop talking about the Jets. I've had enough.
Yeah, there's way too much Jets talk on this show right now. What are we doing? Oh, good Lord. It's Adam Gase. A lot has to do with the coaching, especially the offensive coordinators, right? It's the first proven OC they've had in over a decade. He is not wrong. And let's not remember the Nathaniel Hackett stuff either. I don't want to remember that.
Yikes.
Those are a lot of bad days those are very bad days. In other news, let's go back into what we were talking about earlier. I mean, we were talking about some wide receiver stuff. One wide receiver got paid today.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Smith-Njigba. 4 years, $168.6 million, $120 million guaranteed, $42 million a year. The highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. I mean, look, how do you not make the guy the highest paid wide receiver in football? Everybody who gets an extension now resets the market.
Exactly. Like it was gonna happen. And honestly, they were kind of smart for just saying, "All right, we're gonna do it now." Because what do? You wait another year until somebody else resets the market, like a Puka Nakua. I'm pretty sure he's in that area for an extension.
Devontae Smith's going to be up for one soon.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they just gave him that 3-year, $75 million extension 2 years ago, but that's going to be coming up soon.
Yeah. And that was wide receiver 2 money at the time.
Huh.
He's poised to be wide receiver 1 now. So, yeah, they may have to pay him like one. But yeah, I mean, he was going to get paid. He's an extremely talented wide receiver. Tops of the league. I still take Puka, but they're almost equally at number 1 in my eyes.
I mean, the guy's coming off a season where he won a Super Bowl and Offensive Player of the Year. He's the best wide receiver in football. Don't like my opinion? Debate a wall.
Debate a wall. That's no fun.
Well, that's what you're going to be doing.
Supposed to ignite debate, Sam.
He's the best wide receiver in football right now. Sorry, Justin Jefferson. Sorry, Jamar Chase. He's the best wide receiver in football.
Still Puka Nakua.
Okay.
That's the hill I will die on.
JSN doesn't have a future Hall of Famer on the other side of him either.
But they still double team him. But anyways, like I said, we could go back and forth for days. I think they're both
exactly
equal at number 1.
And this is again, and see,
Dustin's gonna die on his hill.
Exactly,
number 1.
This is a hill that everyone will die on a different hill. That is perfectly
and it's
fine.
another valid argument. It is.
Which means next year Garrett Wilson will be the best wide receiver in football, and then we'll be having a different conversation.
Oh my God, stop.
It is, though. It's literally, it changes from year to year.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
So, whoa, hold on. So, wait. Is that he's at Chase at 4? Holy crap.
Yeah.
I mean, Jamar Chase hasn't really done much over the past few years since he got that money.
Exactly.
Not all that's his fault.
Yeah. And look who he's got next to him. A wide receiver 1 on a good amount of teams. Not all teams. I wouldn't even say half of the league, but a good amount of teams, he would be a number 1.
I agree. 100%. There are 2 guys that are lost in the shadow of their wide receiver 1s, T. Higgins and Devontae Smith.
Yep.
And I will die on that hill.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait for the AJ trade. I'm ready. It's time.
It's happened in my head already.
Greener pastures, exactly. It was fun while it lasted.
I almost wish Wentz was the starter for this season. In the 6 games Jefferson had Wentz, he was averaging 170 yards per game.
Yeah. My fantasy team was loving it, Dustin. Yeah. And then I'll never forget I had to bench Jefferson for the last 4 games of the year. That was kind of just for 1 year, though. Because other than that, every other year of his career, he's been a number 1.
He's been the number. He was the best receiver in football for a stretch. Yeah. Now, hold on. You were loving that stretch when he played, but yet, hold on. Now I got an issue with you. But last year, you said you loved those weeks when Wentz was giving Jefferson the ball, but last year, when I called the victory tour and I cut let me explain this, people. In the history of 609, no one has. I cut a better promo for Carson Wentz on this show last year than a WWE superstar has in 10 years. I could destroy Cody Rhodes on the mic. That's how good this promo was. I had like a 15 minutes promo hyping up the Carson Wentz revenge tour. And this man, who now has left the camera because he knows I'm right, came on here and basically said to me, if I came back on with a Carson Wentz jersey, he would end the show. And I called it. And guess what? I was right.
I stand by what I said.
You don't even remember what you said.
I stand by what I said. I slandered Carson Wentz, then I stand by what I said. But JJ McCarthy is worse.
Duh. Dustin, I don't think that he's lost in the mix. I think Devontae's just that he's starting to get up to that age where he's kind of like he's still very good, but he's not Green Bay Devontae Adams.
Yeah, exactly. He can't be the best wide receiver in the league now, but he can be the best wide receiver 2 in the league now.
Yeah, I mean, let me just hold on real quick. I mean, Devontae's now 33 years old, so yeah, he's starting to hit that age. But I mean, this is a down year: 789 yards and 14 touchdowns. Like what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I see where we're going with this conversation. I'm not saying Devontae has lost all of his wide receiver 1 ability. It's just he's starting to get up there in age. I mean, he's 33 now, so. Like I said, I don't want to sit here and sound like this is bash Devontae Adams. I love Devontae Adams.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, being able to transition into different roles throughout your career, rather than he could have just retired. A lot of guys do that.
Well, if I went from the Packers to the Raiders to the Jets, I may contemplate retiring too.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, with that season when he got traded from the Raiders to the Jets, still had 1,000 yards combined.
Yeah, he was still doing his thing.
Still did it.
So Dustin said he still thinks he could be top 7, maybe even top 5. Possibly. I'm not gonna.
You know what?
I'm not gonna deny that.
Put him on the Browns, and he's putting up 1,200.
Oh, dear God, why do you do this?
Someone's got to do it.
Why do you do this?
I'm here for the people.
Well, you're here for something, all right.
To ignite Sam.
But now the question is going to be who gets the next bag as a wide receiver.
Puka Nacua.
Yeah, probably.
There's no probably. It's going to happen.
If the Rams were smart, they would.
When that happens, Adams is gone.
Well, I mean, Adams only signed a 2-year deal with the Rams.
Yeah, so that should be coming to an end after this season.
I think he only signed it.
So they'll be looking to get cheaper opposite of Puka Nacua.
Well, they already are. There's been plenty of mock drafts that have them taking a wide receiver and taking one early.
Ooh, early. Yeah, Matthew Stafford needs more weapons. Thanks, guys.
Well, they don't have a weakness.
Makes sense because it makes sense. You're right. They don't have many weaknesses. I mean, their pass rush is fine. They just traded and bolstered their secondary. Their safeties are pretty solid. Good linebackers. Where's the weakness? You got the running backs. O-line solid. So you're right. Go ahead. You know that you're probably not going to bring back Devontae Adams after this year. Go and draft one. And who knows? I heard a rumor swirl that they might look to trade Adams.
Well, I think that was only if there was a possibility of them getting involved with A.J. Brown, which, by the way, guys, if you believe a word that the Rams said about, they were scared away from a knee issue that A.J. Brown has. Oh, yes, one of the Eagles' biggest NFC rivalries aren't trying to drive the price down for A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
Even though I honestly, a part of me believes it because, we've had arguments with Brian about this. You can tell me all you want that AJ was moving. AJ's not moving like he was in 2022. He's lost a lot of that burst he used to have. Whether that's
Dustin thinks he signs an extension and retires as a Ram. I actually think he wouldn't mind retiring as a Packer.
I mean, shoot, they already have a solidified receiving core, but Dobbs is gone. They have Reed, they have Watson, they have. I mean, I would love to see him retire a Packer, but no, I think the Rams are going to look for another wide receiver, get cost efficient there. Dude? Why'd the Falcons trade them a first round pick? Why did you trade them a top 15 pick?
Yeah. Dustin, I think Brown is as good as done in Philly as it gets.
We are done with A.J. Brown in Philly.
Yeah.
And I'm done with the whole circus show. I'm done with the media. I'm done with the Patriots. I'm done with the Patriots beat writers. I'm done with the Patriots fans. I'm done with AJ with his nice little, we're all Patriots wink. Like, dude, grow up. Oh, it was his favorite team growing up. Okay, well, when I was growing up, I want to be a Power Ranger. Guess what? Things don't go the way we want.
You did not just say that.
Yes, I did, because this is what people are like, oh, well, it was his childhood team. Well, Power Rangers was my childhood show, and I wanted to be one. That doesn't mean I get what I want in life.
Well, Sam, if you go back out in the Puerto Rican sun, you could be the Red Power Ranger. How about that?
Oh, don't remind me of that, dude. I'm still suffering from that. I mean, Dustin, there's another team in California that plays at the same stadium as the Rams he could go to.
Very true.
I was the Dairy Ranger.
The Dairy Ranger. There it is.
There was a White Power Ranger. R.I.P. Tommy, man. R.I.P. Chuck Norris too, man. That's a terrible week.
Oh man, legend Chuck Norris.
Oh my God! Look at George's comment. I just got it.
Which one?
What? The bottom one.
Bottom one.
Megazord. Dustin, stay out of this. Dustin, stay out of this. I still like you to an extent right now.
Now this is Monday night unbiased. All hands on deck.
Oh God, what is this? Okay, can we get back to the freaking? What is this turning? Why are we talking about this?
We're uniting fans right now, Sam.
Oh my gosh.
But anyways, I forget where we were even at. Something with
AJ Brown.
Oh, AJ Brown, that's right. Well, no wonder why it got off the rails. AJ Brown.
I am so.
We don't have to. We can go a week without talking about AJ Brown. It's okay. We're not going to get into
that. Oh my God, I'm done. I'm done with this chat right now. I am so done with the chat. I'm done with all you guys.
We'll have to get a 609 special edition of Unbiased Halloween.
I'm checking if Halloween's on a Monday this year. Because if it is, we are not having a show.
Oh no!
We are not having.
You gotta dress up.
Oh, it's a Saturday. Thank God.
All right, so Friday night gridiron picks. No. Halloween special. Wait, that'll be mischief night, won't it? There will be some mischievous picks. And Sam, your picks are just fuck as usual, so no surprise there.
Dear God.
But anyway, I think we were wrapping up the whole JSN extension and next wide receiver to get paid. It's going to be Puka Nacua, without a doubt. The Rams are probably going to be feeling pressured a lot now because basically Seattle extending JSN was to beat Puka getting extended because the other team's going to have to beat that. So now the Rams got to pay him more than JSN. It doesn't have to be much, but it's just going to be, one jumps the other. That's just the way it goes.
And then that's going to trigger Devontae Smith next, probably. And if Devontae Smith has a big first year in Sean Mannion's offense, the Eagles may want to jump that quicker.
Yeah, they're going to want to get on top of that as fast as they can.
Just look, it's premature and unfair to say that Devontae Smith can ultimately go right into having a productive year like JSN did. But, I mean, this is what the Seahawks expected from JSN this year. They traded away their former wide receiver one. They traded DK Metcalf. They released Tyler Lockett. The offense was going to be designed to be built around JSN, and he has earned that money. Like, I'm not saying that, but like teams now are going to want to start getting involved in this stuff earlier, because if Devontae Smith comes in to Sean Mannion's offense and has a successful year, they're going to want to pay him and pay him fast, because that 3 for $75 million a couple years ago, that's what you pay your slot receiver now.
Yeah.
I mean, we got slot receivers making this kind of money. Jalen Naylor's making $64 million. I'm not saying Jalen Naylor's not a good player. I'm not saying that, but we're at that point now where this is just going to get insane. And yes, I saw the last comment. Okay, just I saw you freaking laughing at it. It had nothing to do with me, so I don't care. But we are getting to a point now where, I mean, this is going to be the situation everywhere now. The market's going to go up every single year for said positions. I mean, even look what the Ravens and Eagles did a few years ago. They made paying running backs a thing. And now look, Kenneth Walker gets a big deal in free agency.
Yeah.
It's just, remember back in the day where nobody paid running backs? When you were 31, you were washed up to the league.
Yep.
Now we're paying running backs so they're 33, 34. So it's going to be a lot. This is going to set off the market, because I guarantee Puka may get his in the next couple of weeks.
He might. They might get it done before the season starts.
And I still think they're drafting one.
I think so. It makes sense.
They're going to draft Jordan Tyson at 13, aren't they? Oh, my God. They're going to get Tyson, and then they're going to have a three-headed monster. Then Adams is going to leave, and Tyson takes over. Oh, my God. They're going to be so good. Stafford's going to never retire. He's going to he had to play for the Lions.
Keep drafting wide receivers, and I'll play till I'm 50.
Well, I mean, when he played in Detroit, his body probably felt 50, so.
Yeah, just like Megatron. That's why he retired.
Oh, this is just going to get so much worse. Not worse, but it's going to get so more chaotic than it already is. But, all right, Tyler, so we had some stuff to talk about for free agency. Now, it's been a wild 3 weeks. And I say 3 because even though free agency just kicked off 2 weeks ago, there were trades going crazy the week before, including the trade that happened but didn't happen. So we're going to play a little game. We're going to give some free agency thoughts now over the next couple of segments here. We have free agency. I guess you could call it winners or losers. I don't really like to call it that. I want to call it more most improved to still needs work. So we'll get to that at the end of the show. But right now, we're going to play a game called Grade the Trade. So I have 6 of the more significant trades that have happened over the past 3 weeks, and we're going to give our grades. So I figure we'll give a grade for both teams involved. And we'll see where this goes. Now, the first one up, we're going to go to Buffalo. The Bills received wide receiver DJ Moore and a 2026 fifth-round pick, and the Chicago Bears received a 2026 second-round pick. Tyler, would you like to grade the trade first, or would you like me to go first?
I'll kick us off. I'm going to start for the Bills' end. I'm going to grade them. They get an A- out of me.
Okay.
Because they've needed a wide receiver one for so long. Can DJ Moore still be a wide receiver one? Probably. Compared to Buffalo standards before them trading for him, it's not going to be hard for him to establish himself as a wide receiver one. And they also get a 5th-round pick as well. And then they send back over that second rounder. Was it just the second rounder?
Yes, that's a
Just the
2026
second
second
rounder.
rounder was all they got. They were sent back.
Hey, an extra second round pick in this draft, that could be possibly a starter or someone who can compete for a starting job for the Bears. I think they could even possibly go with maybe an O lineman with that second round pick. For the Bears, they needed to offload more because he was just getting phased out of their offensive scheme. You got the younger guys, very talented. They're going to become great players. To get a second rounder for him was honestly a steal. I'm going to give them a solid A. They got cheaper by trading a veteran player away, a guy who they weren't using much anymore, and then they get extra draft capital for this year. I like it for both teams.
I would agree with you with the Bears. I'm giving them a solid A. It opens up the offense now for the young kids, Colston Loveland, Roma Dunze, Luther Burden. I think them with Caleb and Kyle Monungai, that is a strong. I'm not disrespecting DeAndre Swift. I'm just talking about young guys on rookie contracts right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just think even if Swift wasn't there, Monungai with those pass catchers, that is such a strong foundation to an offense.
Oh, yeah.
Offensive line still should be strong. Still needs a little work now. Now, with Dahlman retiring, Trapilla's going to be out for most of next year. We have to see how they do with that. They will come up. The Bears are going to come up a lot in the next couple of segments. So I'm giving the Bears an A. You get a second round pick for a wide receiver who you weren't going to have on your team next year. I think he was going to end up being moved eventually. The Bills, I'm going to give it a B minus. I like it. Number one, they went on and guaranteed his salary, which of course the Bills did that. They're so desperate for wide receiver help, they'll do anything. It's a B minus for Buffalo because I don't care about the fifth round pick, by the way. But DJ Moore, now I do like the fact, DJ Moore has been with Joe Brady before. Joe Brady was his offensive coordinator in Carolina, where he had some of his more productive years. The only little thing with DJ Moore is the first year in Chicago was awesome. It went down to 900 yards the second year, and now we're down to under 7. I am not saying that he is starting to hit that wall, but I mean, I can't ignore the numbers there, and that's kind of a little concerning. Now, yes, he could be a wide receiver. He's the Bills' wide receiver 1, but is he really a wide receiver 1? I think he's still fitted better as a 2. Like if Buffalo still got involved on the AJ Brown front, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense. But I
They
mean,
needed
it's just the Bills have taken away so much from their wide receiver room that it's sad that DJ Moore comes in and is instantly the main guy.
Well, hold on now. And I don't want to disrespect DJ Moore. He's been a very productive wide receiver. I'm not saying that he can't be a wide receiver 1. It's just right now he doesn't have much to contend with in that regard. I mean, their outside wide receivers last year were awful. Their best outside wide receiver was what? 3 weeks of Brandon Cooks?
Yeah.
So, speaking. Hey, George, I hope you're still watching. We have some news. I'm not hitting the breaking news button for it. Veteran guard Robert Jones is signing with the 49ers. Jones played 49 career games, 30 starts with the Dolphins before signing last year with Dallas, where he missed the entire season because of a neck injury.
Oh, great.
Here's the last part of it. He's healthy now and is now headed to San Francisco. Healthy now is not going to be healthy later.
So are the 49ers just actively signing people to sacrifice to keep McCaffrey healthy?
Yes, 100%. But yeah, so like I said, I like DJ Moore. I think he helps them a lot. I think Joe Brady could definitely get some good football out of him still. I just don't know if he's not moving the needle like Buffalo fans think he is.
No.
It helps them. Shakir will be in the slot. Moore's on one side. They need more. They need more.
Yeah, they definitely do.
So I'll go A for Chicago, B- for Buffalo. Now let's head to Dallas and the Green Bay Packers. Cowboys get defensive lineman Rashawn Gary. Packers get a 2026 fourth-round pick.
Whew. I'll start again with the team that received the player. I think them getting Rashawn Gary for a fourth-round pick is kind of a steal. I mean, you're pairing him on a defensive line that has a lot of strong pieces now. With Quentin Williams,
Kenny Clark,
Kenny Clark,
Donovan Ezeraka, who still breaks my heart that he's a Cowboy.
Yeah, you see Ezeraka in his second year. And I mean, Gary came off of 7.5 sacks last year. I like the prospect of him in that combined defensive front because he's not coming in. He doesn't need to be a Micah Parsons. All he's got to do is just be a productive part of the puzzle. And for a fourth-round pick, I think that's probably one of the better moves that the Dallas Cowboys have made recently.
The only thing that concerns me with Rashawn Gary that this was a guy that had 7.5 sacks on October the 28th and did not record another one for the rest of the year.
But that's the other part that I'm saying, though, is because his production stopped when Micah got hurt. You're not asking him to go into Dallas and be that guy, the main guy. Just has to play his part. And he's shown that he can play his part if he's not asked to carry the whole team, carry the whole load on his shoulders. And he doesn't have to do that.
Hold on. Micah got hurt in the middle of December. So what was the excuses from October the 28th till December?
Let's see. How many weeks was that? Was
Doesn't
that like
matter. It's 5 weeks. So what were the excuses?
Well, hey, not everyone's as dedicated week in, week out.
I like Rashawn Gary. I just don't know how much I trust him of being my top defensive pass rusher.
But is he going to be asked to be their top defensive pass rusher?
Off the edge, he will be. Unless Azaraku has a ridiculous breakout year in year two,
which they're kind of hoping.
With Christian Parker, that's very possible.
I think they're kind of hoping for him to take that next step. But having Gary on the other side helps both of them take that next step. Because if teams are going to be more focused on Gary, well, there you go. Opens it up for Ezeraku.
Well, first of all, hold on. We know for what drives me nuts is that the Cowboys are adapting to the Eagles' way of thinking is they are going to try to dominate you with interior pressure. Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams are not easy guys to guard.
Yeah. They're going to command a lot of attention, too.
Which is something Green Bay did not have. Green Bay's interior does not have the pass rushers that Dallas has.
Yeah.
So I think that will help Gary a lot. Gary's also versatile. He's also a bigger defensive end who could slide inside. He could come off the edge. But again, with Christian Parker there in Dallas now as their defensive coordinator, which, my God, that drives me crazy. I like it. I think they need more on the defensive front. I'm not saying Gary's not a good player, but that disappearing act is really kind of concerning.
Yeah, definitely for a former first-round pick.
I mean, he's going to help. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, the Cowboys, look, there's not a defensive move the Cowboys are going to make that's going to be bad because their defense was that bad last year.
Yeah.
But I think now with the way they're reshaping the front with Rashawn Gary, they traded away Osa Odigizua, who that trade's not on this list, but that's a solid move for both teams. Cowboys, they give up the 4th-round pick for Gary, but they get a 3rd-round pick back for Odigizua, and the
Yeah.
Niners get a pass rushing defensive tackle, which, by the way, the Niners' defensive tackles last year had 4 sacks between all of them.
Yikes.
Osa by himself had 3.5. So the Niners get a new toy to play with on their defense. But Gary helps their front a lot. You'll have him with Ezeraku. You'll have those 2 guys in the middle. Kenny Clark played really well for Dallas last year. I honestly think that was a big loss for Green Bay. And Quentin Williams, still one of the 5 best interior defensive linemen in football. Go debate a wall if you disagree.
Man, you're telling everyone to go debate with the walls tonight.
Well, that's what you're going to get. Debate a wall. So I'm going to stick with my gratefully DJ Moore. I'm going to go B- for Dallas. I like it. It helps the defensive front. I wonder if there's another move coming to their defensive front, whether it's a draft pick or not. We'll have to wait and see. For the Packers, I mean, I'll give that a B. You get a 4th-rounder for a guy, so that's not terrible.
Packers, get a B-.
Like, they're putting the reason I could have went maybe B+, but man, they're putting a lot of eggs in the basket of Luke Van Ness, who still hasn't lived up to his 1st-round status.
Yep. That seems to be a trend with Packers pass rushers not living up to the 1st-round name.
Don't draft them. Just sign them off with other teams.
Yeah, or just trade for them.
Yeah, just get them off at other teams. Let the other teams do the work. You did it with Reggie White. Did it with Micah. just don't. Most of your best defensive players didn't get drafted by you. Charles Woodson. I mean, come on. All right. What'd you say?
I said, what about Clay Matthews?
Yeah, that's. Hey, look, even a blind squirrel finds a nut eventually. The squirrel in Ice Age finally got the acorn to stop bouncing away from him. All right. Big one. Rams get Trent McDuffie. Chiefs get a 2026 1st-rounder, a 2026 5th-rounder, a 2026 6th-rounder, and a 2027 3rd-rounder.
Holy picks. I mean, let's start with what the Rams got at McDuffie. Immediate help at the corner position, place where they struggled so much against these teams through their run in the NFC, trying to make it to the Super Bowl. We all know the pass rush can get the job done. The defensive front's pretty strong. Your secondary was a little weak, but it wasn't all on the safeties. It was notably the corners. So they went into win now mode. And yeah, they gave up quite an assortment of picks. But damn, McDuffie is definitely worth a 1st-rounder. So I don't think they're going to be regretting that one bit. I give them an A for that acquisition. Because the rest of the picks you give up, they're not really hurting you too much. And then even the 3rd-rounder in 2027, it is what it is. But for the type of player that you're getting to bolster your team to win now, their hopes are to make a run through the NFC this year and go to the Super Bowl. They're still poised to do that. And they might do it. Then on the other side for the Chiefs, extra 1st-round pick never hurts. Maybe they use that extra 1st-round pick and they take another corner. Or maybe they take a wide receiver, offensive lineman. It opens up some possibilities for them. But the Chiefs getting more draft capital is definitely not a bad thing because they have to continue to keep building that team up through scouting well and drafting well if they want to get back to their AFC dominance. So for the Chiefs, I give them I give them a B because it's still a very good corner to part ways with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give the Chiefs a B plus. You get a bunch of draft picks to replenish the stockpile of young, controllable talent. I think you get a first rounder. You still get, I mean, you get 2 later round picks. That'll work out for something. The Chiefs and Andy always find someone late that they can hit on. You get the 2027 third. So, yeah, you stockpile on draft picks for a guy that was going to command a big deal, which the Rams already gave him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give them a B plus. For the Rams, it's an A plus. How would you not give this an A plus? This is not only one of the best corners in football, it's the most versatile corner available in football. This is a guy that can play inside, outside. Remember how we were talking about when they signed Jaylen Watson? Like, wow, well, what's the deal going to be with Emmanuel Forbes, who is, again, a former first round pick who honestly did not live up to it with the Commanders. Sorry, Anthony. And they desperately needed to get, I mean, they got rid of him. And the Rams picked him up. He actually played really well for the Rams. Well, McDuffie's so versatile. If a team tries to go and puts one of their best receivers in the slot, you can slot McDuffie down the slot. You could throw Watson and Forbes on the outside and still have a productive secondary.
Yeah.
You get a guy that's one of the most versatile defensive backs in the game who's still in his prime. You gave up your later first round pick. You still kept 13. So that's a big one. Okay, so you had to pay him. As long as Matthew Stafford is the quarterback of the LA Rams, you are in win now mode until he announces his retirement. So you shored up your secondary in the best way you could. You went out and got one of the best corners in the damn game. To add to the elite pass rush with Brandon Fisk, with Jared Verse, with Kobe Turner, Byron Young, Josiah Stewart. You brought back your safeties. You brought back his running mate in Kansas City, who now gets to play with that elite defensive line. This is nothing more than an A plus for the Rams. So I'll go A plus
You
Rams,
can't go
B
higher
plus.
than A plus.
I want to go A plus plus. But no, I'll go A plus Rams, B plus Chiefs. Chiefs get a good amount of draft picks. Rams get the missing link in their defense, which drives me crazy. All right, next up, we've got Texans. They get David Montgomery. The Lions get offensive lineman Juice Scruggs, a 2026 fourth round pick, and a 2027 seventh round pick. I'm going to kick this one off, actually.
Go ahead.
Lions, I'm going to give a B minus. I think it's a solid return. They needed some offensive line help. Juice Scruggs is a guy who's got over 20 career starts. He's been in almost 40 career games. He hasn't been the greatest time in Houston. So, I mean, not saying it's going to come out and win Detroit many games, but it's a guy that he'll sit there. He'll compete for a job or he'll be solid depth behind their starters. You get a fourth rounder and a seventh rounder for a running back who was kind of disgruntled with his role. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs emerging as a superstar. That was going to happen. We all saw it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give the Lions a B minus. I wanted to honestly give them a C plus because the one issue I still have with this is because, yes, you get back some draft picks. You do get an offensive lineman. You got a decent haul for Montgomery, but the Sonic and Knuckles connection is honestly a big reason why I think Jahmyr Gibbs was able to be as productive as he's been throughout his career because he stayed fresh. Do not sit here. I don't care who hears this. Do not sit there and tell me Isaiah Pacheco is going to fill David Montgomery's role. That's the most Isaiah Pacheco stinks. Whatever that injury he had has destroyed him physically.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, the dynamic duo between them. Yes, Gibbs is the more versatile. You can utilize him in so many different ways, from an explosive runner to coming out the backfield as a receiving threat. But the duo was able to keep him healthy with Montgomery. So, for my aspect with the Lions, gaining Scruggs, I give them a B minus.
So we're kind of the same.
But for losing Montgomery, I'm actually dropping it down to C plus because I think that has more of a negative impact overall on their offensive success. Because what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna make Jahmyr Gibbs a workhorse? I mean, keeping him fresh has been how he's been so productive in the league. I mean, you look at his numbers and you would think that he's a workhorse already, but no, he's just that
You
explosive
would.
of a player. So I'm actually giving them an overall of a C plus. And then I'm going over to the Texans. You traded for David Montgomery, but I just see a pattern with the Texans of just an endless cycle of running back after running back after running back. And now I'm starting to wonder, is Houston the place where running backs go to die?
Actually, you're actually wrong
Wrong.
because here's where now hold on. Joe Joe Mixon had a career year in Houston. It's not their fault he got that foot injury. He got hurt. It happens. Nick Chubb actually had a pretty productive year last year, given the circumstances. Now, Nick Chubb was already hurt in Cleveland before he got to Houston, which is also not their fault. I actually think Houston is the kings of the one-hit wonder year for running backs because Mixon had a great year, then he got hurt. Chubb was already kind of damaged goods when he got there and actually turned into be a solid rotational piece with Woody Marks this past year to help them solidify some sort of a run game. Now, you're getting David Montgomery, who's still, 27, 28 years old?
Yeah.
Who still could be, if he wanted to be a workhorse back, I still think he could be that guy, that 1,000-yard rusher in this league. You're going to pair him with Woody Marks now. And you've got a very solid wide receiver, running back duo. Yeah, right. We're getting, but no, because I was going to say, they already have a solid wide receiver core. Nico Collins. They have Jalen Nolan Higgins, who they took out of Iowa State. Shout out Matt Campbell, the new Penn State head coach. I mean, they're going to have They still have Dalton Schultz, and Tank Dell should be back this year. We got to see how he is after that leg injury because that was brutal.
Yeah.
They just need a run game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my biggest thing is just the turnover at running back. So hopefully they don't just run Montgomery to the ground and then on to the next one.
Well, and again, a lot of the issue came was they thought Mixon was going to be healthy. I mean, Mixon had 1,016 yards and 11 touchdowns and his lone healthy year in Houston. Then he got that foot injury. And it seems like it's career ending because he got released and there's no one picking him up. So it wasn't. I mean, that kind of really screwed them up to start the year. So just because, I mean, when they signed Nick Chubb, they were going into it thinking, hey, we're probably going to have Chubb and Mixon. That could be a nice duo. Then they got stuck with just Chubb, and Woody Marks actually came in, and the two of them did a solid job.
Yeah.
But now Woody Marks gets paired with Montgomery, who's still in the prime of his career, still a solidified runner, and I think that is going to help them immensely. George said Miami is where running backs go to retire. Oh, dear God.
But Sam, you didn't even let me finish and give my grade.
Sorry.
I actually give the grade a B plus for the Houston Texans because they didn't give up too much. They got a guy who, when given the amount of carries of a number one running back, yes, he can produce. Dave Montgomery is a great running back. So hopefully they'll balance it well between him and Woody Marks, and it'll keep Montgomery fresher. That's a 28-year-old. And then hopefully they establish a nice dominant run game.
Yeah. All right, so I went B minus for the Lions. I could have dropped it to a C plus, but I'm going to try to trust Dan Campbell one last time. You know, but I'm going to stick with that. I'll give them the B minus. I'm going to give the Texans an I'm going to go A minus for them. I really like the move. I think it's going to help them and CJ Stroud out a lot. All right. Got two more here, and then we can move on to our free agency lists. The trade we talked about to start the show. Jaylen Waddle goes to the Broncos. The Dolphins get back a 2026 first, a 2026 third, and the team swap fourth round picks this year as well. So it's basically Waddle and a fourth for a first, third, and a fourth.
So I'm glad this one's on here. I'm still trying to see the big picture with trading away Jaylen Waddle. What are the Dolphins' plans here exactly? You just give a pretty hefty contract to Malik Willis. Then you trade away what could have been a top target for him. I'm sorry, do we know what's even going on with Tyreek Hill?
He's a free agent.
He is a free agent.
They released him before the league year started.
That's what I thought. Surprised no teams have picked him up yet.
Well, when you're labeled as the fastest wide receiver in football, and the last time we saw you, you were carted off because your entire leg got dislocated, I'd be concerned too. Not to mention that you were happy that it happened.
Oh man, yeah, we'll forget that smile.
Not to mention, can you imagine the amount of alimony incentives in that contract? Holy crap! What are they? We can't afford that with inflation. That man's got to be on the Phillip Rivers budget. What do you want us to do with that? And it's probably still going up. It's probably got a new one every day. It went from 16 to 32 real quick.
He's had a lot of bed rest, so
we could have an NFL draft just off of how many kids Tyreek Hill has. But guess what? It will be baseball rounds. We are round 16.
Moving on. I don't see the Dolphins' direction in this. Maybe they turn around and they draft a wide receiver with the additional first round pick. Maybe that's where their thought process is, and they're trying to kind of start fresh almost, you know. You bring in new coach, new coaching staff. You bring in new quarterback. Maybe they just want a fresh start. And I guess I can understand that, but from the current aspect of it, I'm going to give the Dolphins, I'll give them just a B. And for the Broncos, they get an A+ from me. I've been trying to be stingy on giving out the A+, but they get the A+. I mean, they get a player that does fill the void. I think he's going to come in and live up to that number one wide receiver role. He's going to make Courtland Sutton a lot more productive. I think he's going to make his job a lot easier. And I think vice versa, Sutton's going to make Waddle's job a lot easier. And they're both just going to make it a lot easier on Bo Nix in general. So I think we could see that Denver offense really improve and start moving the ball a lot more. And we don't have to just see that defense keeping them in these games, winning 17-10 and holding teams to like under 14 points.
I agree. When you have an offense that could put up, 28, 30 points a game, your defense can pin its ears back a little more, get after the quarterback before. You don't got to rush and blitz and send all these crazy packages. You just give the defense time to operate the way they do. I'm going to give it an A for the Broncos. I think they got their wide receiver one. I think he is the missing piece. They were literally a Bo Nix ankle injury away from going to the Super Bowl last year because I'm sorry, I don't care the Patriots got there. They had some of the worst offensive performances I've ever seen for an AFC champion in my entire life. And I think if Bo Nix plays in the AFC title game, I think we're talking a different tune right now. So I'm going to say A for the Broncos. The Dolphins, I'm going to give it a B+. They get a decent amount of draft picks. And look, I understand you say you don't really see the direction. Dude, they're in full teardown mode. They are going to trade every tradable asset to garner as many draft picks as they can. They get a second first rounder this year for Waddle. They get a third.
Why is
They're
Achane
probably going to
still
move. Well, teams have called about Achane, and apparently he's not available, they've said. I don't believe a word of that.
there? Yeah,
But,
he's not available, but everyone else is okay.
well, I mean, and I understand like they gave out the money from Malik Willis. They need a stopgap, a 3-year guy that can be there, be your starter. He's familiar with the organization. The head coach knows him. The GM knows him. It's someone they're familiar with. That's why he's there. He's a stopgap bridge quarterback for whenever they get their quarterback. Again, Dante Moore, Arch Manning. Oh, God, Arch Manning's going to go between the Jets and the Dolphins. Somebody save this kid.
Oh, no.
Arch, can you throw a baseball? I mean, can you throw a baseball? Oh, my God. Can you ask Laramie Tunsil for the gas mask? I mean, God, do something. Please, do something. Get yourself out of the situation. But no, I mean, I'll give it, like I said, I'll go be. The Dolphins are trying to replenish their roster. They need a lot of draft picks. They give 3 for Jaylen Waddle, and I think they're fine. They get a first and a third. They'll be able to find some quality players with those. And the goal is just to keep moving up. I mean, they've done it with everybody. They released Tyreek Hill. They released Bradley Chubb. They traded Minka, which, by the way, I think they sold completely low on Minka Fitzpatrick. All you gave up got back from Minka was a 7th. That's an F trade. That's an A+ for the Jets. That's a steal. I didn't put that on the list. That was so insulting. A 7th rounder from Minka Fitzpatrick. Oh, yeah. You should be fired for that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the Jets gave him a new deal, okay, give me a 4th or something.
Oh yeah, it's like, what did they even ask for at that point? Did they actually ask for like a bag of chips, and they were like, you know what, we'll give you a 7th rounder instead?
Yeah, we'll give you a cookie instead. Like, my God. Jets have had an interesting offseason. I love the Tavondre Sweat move. I love the Minka move. I like Nahshon Wright from the Bears going over there. He had 5 interceptions. For a team that had no interceptions last year, getting a guy that had 5 with the Bears for a 1-year deal, that's a steal. They've made moves, and I like what they've done. But they're still the Jets at the end of the day.
They are not one of the most improved teams.
Hell no. They won't be one of the most improved teams 20 years from now. All right, final trade grade. Then we'll get into our free agency list. Steelers get Michael Pittman and a 2026 7th-round pick. Colts get a 2026 6th-round pick and a 2026 7th. So basically, it's Pittman for a 6th, and they swap 7s.
For the Colts, C-. I don't like the return they got for Pittman. Okay. I mean, I feel like he still established himself as a very good wide receiver 2 to just basically go for a 6th rounder. You're washing out with the 7s. It don't matter where you pick in the 7th round. I mean, he's coming off of last year, 784 yards. We all know Alec Pierce was the wide receiver 1. Year prior to that, 800 yards. Year prior to that, 1,100. I just don't like that they only got a 6 for him. Like, if it was maybe... This is someone that I could think like a 4th, maybe a 5th. Maybe a 5th that could turn into a 4th. Something like that. But a 6th rounder, it just feels like they were almost like prepared to just release him at that point. But in terms for the Steelers, that's a steal. You get a wide receiver 2 next to DK Metcalf, which was desperately needed. Now all you need is Aaron Rodgers to come back from his darkness retreat, sign his 1-year deal to come back, to reunite with Mike McCarthy, and then they can all sing Kumbaya and make it to the AFC playoffs. Not giving any prediction, but at least the playoffs.
No, yeah, I'm gonna go for the Steelers. I'm gonna go with an A minus. It could go up. It will go up if and whenever 12 decides to come out of the darkness and just say, "Hey, I'm
I
coming back."
I gave it a solid
I'll go A minus. Pittman, they could not complete a pass to a wide receiver that wasn't named DK Metcalf,
A. Yeah.
and teams could just zero in on him so much because there was nobody out there they could complete a pass to.
Yeah.
Perfect wide receiver to play opposite of DK. You'll have Pat Fryermuth there, who probably will lead their tight ends in receiving yards over John. Oh wait, John got released. Just want to rub that in a little bit, but and they have a solid run game now. They got Warren and Rico Dowdle back there, so the Steelers offensively actually have a solid unit now.
Yeah.
It's a
They
more
made a lot of moves. And I don't think it's end all be all of Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, he's the ideal pick to come back in. He had success in the system last year. If ultimately he doesn't, bring in Kirk for a year. He can run that system.
I don't hate it. Bring in Kirk, draft Drew Aller. PA kid.
I don't know. He might need to distance himself from PA. He might be a little traumatized from James Franklin.
No, that's no. Yeah, well, yeah, we're not going to go there. Okay. James is down in Virginia, giving Virginia Tech fans false hope. Got people over in Blacksburg calling for a natty. You're not even going to sniff one.
A natty. Just start off with an ACC championship first. Jesus, you got to get through Miami. Well, actually, no, because apparently Miami can have the best record in the ACC and not play in the championship game, so never mind that.
I'll give Virginia Tech fans really a good one. How about you start off by being a 500 football team instead of being 3-9? Then come talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, though. Colts, I'm going to be generous. I'm going to give them a C+. I think they sold way too low on Pittman. At least give me a fifth rounder back. I mean, Pittman's still been a productive wide receiver in his career.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I get it why the Colts did it. They were going to have to move on from somebody after they got Alec Pierce back, gave him the boatload of money. He's now easily the wide receiver one. Josh Downs is now their wide receiver, too, and he's been very productive in the 3 years he's been there. And, of course, now the offense is going to run through Pierce. It's going to be a lot more to Tyler Warren now, so more targets will be coming his way. Downs will get more targets. By the way, they still have Jonathan freaking Taylor, by the way.
Yeah.
So
there's one less mouth to feed in the offense.
Exactly. And look, sometimes it's nice to have that. It's like Chicago. Sometimes it's nice to have all those weapons. You've got defensive coordinators thinking, how many guys do I have to guard? But then you get to a point where there are too many mouths to feed.
Yep.
I mean, you're seeing a prime example of that in Philadelphia. I mean, the wide receiver one complains about everything.
Well, that's because he wants everybody's food.
Yeah, he wants his food and everyone's else's food. So, but yeah, so I mean, I like it for the Steelers. They get the perfect wide receiver two to play opposite of DK. Like I said, outside of DK, they couldn't complete a pass last year to anybody.
Yep.
So, I like it. And I think the Colts just sold a little too low. I would have tried to have hung on for something a little bit more, but it is what it is. It's not like they're grasping for wide receivers. They just paid Alec Pierce and they have Josh Downs. And they have Tyler Warren at tight end.
Yeah. They're going to be just fine.
Yeah, so I'll go C+ for the Colts, and I'm going to go A- for the Steelers. I really like the move. And I could probably go to a full-on A if Aaron Rodgers comes back. I think the Steelers' offense next year could be really good. I mean, Pittman, Metcalf, Fryermuth, Dowdle, Warren. You could do worse. Let's see how Mike McCarthy can respond with this after spending a little bit of time out of the league. And now, Final segment of the night. We're going to go through free agency, most improved, and still needs work. That's how I'm going to label this. It's not winners or losers. I don't like putting that on that. We'll do offseason winners and losers. That's fine. But this is going to be most improved versus still needs work. So, Tyler, where do we want to start? Do we want to start with most improved or still needs work?
Let's see. I also got to ask you, do you have these ranked as well?
I kind of do.
Okay.
I kind of just put them in the order of how I thought. 5 being like they need improvement, but like
But they
I
didn't
get where
do
they're at.
the best. Yeah.
Then the number 1 team is like sound the freaking alarm.
Yeah. Okay. So let's you know, I think my least improved might ruffle some feathers, so let's start with the most improved first.
Okay, do you want to go from 1 to 5?
Let's
Or you want to go
go
from 5
let's
to 1?
start from 5 to 1.
Do you want to kick us off or you want me to?
I'll
'Cause
kick us off because actually, thanks to you, you spoiled most of it. I have Pittsburgh.
ah,
Most notably their offensive additions of Michael Pittman and Rico Dowdle, pending Aaron Rodgers, which I think he'll like what he's seeing when he gets his phone back, and he'll end up returning. And also, they brought in Jamel Dean as well. So, solid defensive addition. I think Pittsburgh did pretty well in this early free agency period.
so I guess that unless Jalen Ramsey is moved, I guess that move to safety is permanent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have Dean and Porter on the outside now.
Yeah. Should have just kept Minka.
Interesting.
Why did they trade for Ramsey? Why?
Should have had Dean, Porter, Minka. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. So you go with Pittsburgh at 5. Okay. I don't have Pittsburgh on either of my lists because it's really just it's one guy and one guy only. And when Aaron Rodgers comes back, clearly. But my number 5 team, I'm going with the Houston Texans. That defense is ferocious. It's one of the best in the league. It's one of the most complete in the league. They have the weapons. Those 5 fat bastards on the offensive line can't block anybody. They have some guys. They have Andrews at center, who is fine. They have Ed Ingram at their one guard. Left tackle, they brought Trent Brown back. They also have a young kid who they drafted last year waiting in the wings. They're fine there. His team needed offensive line help. They go and get Braden Smith from the Colts, who's been a very solid right tackle throughout his whole career. Oh, and then they go and add Wyatt Teller, one of the best interior guys on the market. And they also went and got Evan Brown, who was cut by the Cardinals. He could be a top reserve offensive lineman. So I think they have fixed their offensive line. I think the pieces they kept compared to the pieces they've brought in are going to help them. I think they're improved there. They bring in David Montgomery to shore up that running back position. Oh, and by the way, the best secondary in football gets another solid player in Reed Blankenship.
Yeah.
So you just got a bunch of playmakers in the secondary. I mean, Reed, he had a great career in Philly, 3-year starter. As an undrafted free agent, was voted a team captain last year, has 9 career interceptions. So you're adding that to a freaking secondary of playmakers like Kalen Bullock, Jalen Petrie, Kamari Lassiter, and oh, by the way, one of the top corners of the game, Derek Stingley Jr. The Texans are without a doubt one of the most improved teams. If those offensive line moves pan out, they may be an AFC contender. They may be an AFC. They could be an AFC contender as long as CJ Stroud starts taking tests and just stop playing football. But I'm going with the Texans at number 5.
Okay. All right. Jumping into my number 4, I have the Los Angeles Rams. I mean,
Okay.
they're a team where they didn't do a whole lot, but what they've done and how little they actually needed, I feel like it improved them the most and their chances of having a lot of success next year. And I don't think they're done yet because I think got some big move coming in the draft.
which is probably going to be Jordan Tyson. All right. My number 4, I have the Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward, I still think he's got a bright future in this league. He needs help. He needed help. They go and get Wan'Dale Robinson, who had a really good year for the Giants. I mean, having 1,000 yards with 3 separate quarterbacks
Oh
without Malik Neighbors on the field for most of the year. Now he's going to go there and operate with Brian Dable, who he was his head coach in New York. He knows how he operates. He knows how he wants to run his system, and they add him to that offensive unit. Now, the offense still needs a lot of work. I think you're going to see most of that in the draft. I think it's going to be a heavy offensive draft for the Titans because, oh my God, did Robert Saleh go apeshit crazy in the freaking free agent market for the defense. Number 1, need to be able to cover in this league. You need cover corners. You need young, athletic corners. They go and sign Cordell Flott and Alontae Taylor to big money contracts. They
yeah.
needed to shore up that secondary. Milani Hooker is their one safety. He can only do so much by himself, so they go and shore up those corner positions. Number 2, the defensive line. It's going through a scheme change. That's why they traded Devondre Sweat to the Jets for Jermaine Johnson. Now, Jermaine Johnson, of course, was drafted by Saleh in New York, but they signed John Franklin Myers away from the Broncos. Not only does that hurt the Broncos, if you have watched the last 2 Super Bowl champions, the Seahawks, the Eagles, even the Chiefs, what do their defenses center around the most? Interior pressure. Chris Jones with the Chiefs, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter with the Eagles, Byron Murphy, Leonard Williams. These teams dominate with interior pressure. You're going to pair John Franklin Myers with Jeffrey Simmons, one of the best defensive tackles in football. And you're going to have Jermaine Johnson coming off one edge, and you have the 4th overall pick, which you could probably use on a defensive end again, whether it's the kid Bailey from Texas Tech, whether it's Ruben Bain from Miami. You could load up that entire front 4 now, and it could get pinned. You could pin your ears back and go get the quarterback. So I think they'll use the 4th overall pick on a defensive end. I think the rest of the draft will be heavy offense. But I have the Titans at number 4. Oh, and not to mention, they still added help on the defensive line because not only do they have Jeffrey Simmons and John Franklin Myers, they got Solomon Thomas from the Cowboys, who also has experience with Robert Saleh, and they signed Jordan Elliott away from the Niners, who was with Robert Saleh last year at San Francisco. So they have a rotation. They've built their defensive front up immensely in free agency. I think the defense is 10 times better now at all 3 levels. I think their off-ball linebackers are athletic and can run the field. Their corners now with Flott and Taylor could be really good. And the defensive line has just gotten ridiculous. And if they draft Bailey out of Texas Tech, oh my freaking God. I mean, that defensive line could be ferocious. And I know Jermaine Johnson had the down year last year. It's the year removed from the Achilles. When you hit that second year healthy from it, that's usually when you start getting back into your football shape. So I think a big year is coming for Jermaine Johnson now that he's next to Jeffrey Simmons and John Franklin Myers.
Yep.
So, yeah, I got the Titans at number 4.
Okay. Well, that moves us into number 3 for me. And, well, you basically just said everything that I had for the Titans. So thank you. I think both sides of the ball, they've done well so far. I love the Wan'Dale Robinson acquisition. I think they're, like you said, they're going to really attack offense in the draft as well. I personally think they might look for offensive line additions at number 4, but could easily see them going either way. Offensive line, defensive line, they could use both. And then, I mean, just addressing so many holes that they've had on their defense, bringing in a lot of Robert Saleh guys. I definitely think we're going to see a shifting of the tides for the Titans this year. And I'm glad they're going back, a little throwback with their logo this year in their jerseys. Excited to see that.
Oh, yeah, they also signed Mitch Trubisky, too, to be the backup.
Yeah, which is, okay.
Well, that just tells you what they think about Will Levis.
Yeah, they told him he can go sit in the corner with his jar of mayonnaise and his cup of coffee.
Please don't start that crap again, please.
Never forget.
I will never forget that, and I kind of want to forget it, but thanks to you, it's now fresh in my skull.
You're welcome.
All right, moving on to number 3. I'm going to go with a good one here. I'm going with the Washington Commanders.
Oh, the Commanders.
They were one of the oldest, slowest, least athletic teams in football last year. What have they done this offseason? To the offensive side, they added Rashad White. I think that's a good rotational back to have with Ja'Cory Crosby Merritt. I don't know what the frick his name is.
Krosky Merrick.
Crosby Merritt, okay. They bring in Chig Okonkwo, tight end from Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense, they get Kalavian Chasian and Adafi Owe. They bring in Leo Chanel, who is an off-ball linebacker from the Chiefs. They bring in Nick Cross, who was 120 plus tackle safety with the Colts. They bring in Amik Robinson at corner. The oldest player that they've signed is Rashad White and Amik Robinson, and they're 27 years old.
Wow.
Okonkwo is 26. Chasian is 26. Owe is 27. Chanel is 25. Cross is 24. They got younger, finally. And there's still probably a good chance they're going to land Brandon Ayuk whenever the 49ers decide to get rid of him.
True, yeah.
They get faster, they get more athletic, and they get younger, something they desperately needed to do.
But man, no Bobby Wagner.
Oh, Bobby's a freaking, that man ain't never going to retire. Bobby's the oldest 36-year-old I've ever seen, but he still produces. But that's a big reason why they went and got Leo Chanel, because Bobby Wagner in pass coverage now, no bueno.
Yeah, you just don't got that speed anymore.
But, I mean, if you look at this team last year, so injury-riddled. And when you have an older team, that's what happens.
Yeah.
When you have an old team like that, you're going to get banged up. So the fact that they attack younger free agents that can build to a long-term success here, I hate the fact that they got both Chasian and Adafi Owe. They are going to get after the quarterback next year.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and Nick Cross, that could turn out to be a really underrated move. He is a solid safety for the Colts. And, again, I think Chig Okonkwo is such an underrated tight end. He's going to be a great safety blanket for Jaden Daniels. And Rashad White, he gets so overshadowed by how good Bucky Irving was. And I think the Commanders had a really good free agency. They got younger, they got faster, they got more athletic. So that's my number 3 team.
Okay, I like it. My number 2, jumping up to the Carolina Panthers.
Wait, did you give your 3?
Yeah, they were the Titans.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So, Carolina Panthers, I mean, they loaded up on defense. I think. They had a lot of notable gaps there. I mean, filling it with Jalen Phillips, Devin Lloyd. They're going to get after the quarterback now. You got J.C. Horn out there still, one of the top corners in the league. Offense seems to be making improvements year after year. I definitely think that they're in the right direction. I mean, they also re-signed Isaiah Simmons.
Brought in Devin Lloyd.
Yeah, Devin Lloyd. But, I mean, definitely they went defense heavy in the early free agency period. And I think in the draft, they're not going to be done either. I think they attack defense in the draft as well.
I could definitely see it. I think there are some offensive things that still need working on. Maybe another running back, possibly maybe another pass catcher, whether it's a tight end or another receiver. I like Jalen Cochrane and Ted McMillan.
A tight end would be a nice extra set of receiving hands to still give Coker a shot at the wide receiver 2 job. Because last year, toward the end of the season, I feel like he definitely did a better job of solidifying himself as
Well,
wide
it has
receiver
nothing.
too.
It has nothing to do with that either. It's just I have little to no hope for Xavier Legette.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey,
I don't.
if he's your wide receiver 3, it is what it is.
Yeah, I've seen worse.
But get yourself a solidified tight end, you're good. Go get Kenyon Sadiq. You're chilling.
Oh, come on, man. I want Kenyon Sadiq. All right. So we moving it. We're at number 2, right?
Yep.
All right. My number 2, and I haven't shut up about this team for the past couple of weeks. The New Orleans Saints.
Honorable mention for me.
Okay, that's fair. I love what Kellen Moore's building over there. I think we could easily agree that the Saints overachieved last year, winning 6 games. I think we all had them in the basement, winning 2 to 3. They
Oh yeah.
overachieved. So they have committed to Tyler Shuck as their quarterback for 2026. Now, I thought he showed some things last year at the end of the year. I thought he played well.
Mm-hmm.
So is that the guy they want to build around? Okay. So what do you have to do with a quarterback like that? You got to protect him. Well, they already got their tackles set up. Kelvin Banks, they drafted him out of Texas last year. They drafted Talisi Fuaga the year before that. So your tackles, boom, right there. They signed David Edwards away from the Buffalo Bills, who was probably the best guard on the market. So he is going to help solidify the interior of the offensive line now.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a strong, consistent run game. Okay, let's go sign Travis Etienne, who just came off a great year in Jacksonville. And yes, I know he said that the actual pronunciation of his name is Travis Achan. That's not happening. Yeah, he says Achan, not Etienne.
So you're
Ask
telling
him,
me
not me.
all them years, the college announcers, everybody, they mispronounced him and his brother's name wrong.
Well, it's Etienne until I'm no longer alive.
Yeah.
So they go out, they get 2 of the best free agents on the market. They're going to have a strong run game for Tyler Shuck. They're going to have a strong offensive line with David Edwards, Fuaga, Cesar Ruiz, Kelvin Banks. They signed Noah Fant to possibly be the tight end 2 behind Jawan Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So you can run some 2 tight end sets with those 2 as pass catchers, and that could be a solid little mismatch against teams.
Yeah.
And yes, on defense, they need a lot of work. They have some pieces. I mean, Kool-Aid McKinstry is a very solid building piece in your secondary. They lost to Mario Davis, who went back to the Jets. They did sign Caden Ellis from the Falcons, who had a really good year last year, over 100 tackles. He actually started his career with the Saints, but really blossomed during his time in Atlanta. So he goes back there. The Saints still need to get some pass catching help. I like Chris Olave and Jawan Johnson as like the starting foundation of their pass catchers. I think they need to get a wide receiver that can build a long-term rapport with Tyler Shuck. I think Olave is going to be there. I mean, his name has been brought up in trade talks, so I don't know if he's going to be there, but I would definitely look to get someone on a rookie contract that could build a long-term relationship and chemistry with my quarterback. So,
Okay.
but I love what the Saints have done. I love what Kellen Moore is building, and I hate the fact that he's still with the Saints, but I really do enjoy what the Saints have done this offseason. So they're my number 2 team.
All right. I like that. Well, we're finally at the moment.
Number 1, the Baltimore Ravens.
You're
Oh, sorry. I had them on my list, but it fell through.
Yeah. Let me guess. There's a player in common with the team that you went with.
No.
Well, there is for me. I have the Las Vegas Raiders. Sam, you could try and be cute with your pick. There is only one team that improved the most in the free agency period.
Okay.
And it is the Raiders. I mean, which side of football you want to talk? Jalen Naylor, Tyler Linderbaum. Let's go over. They got back Max Crosby. There's that.
They had to give up 2 first-round picks.
They'll be fine.
Just saying.
Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker. They also brought in Taron Johnson as well. I mean, they filled so many holes on their roster in such a short period of time. You just can't help to think that. I mean, it's just obvious. Oh, and I forgot they also brought in Quiddy Pay too. They made
which I
so
like.
many moves. I forgot some of the moves.
Which I like that better now. If he came in without Max Crosby, I'm like, it's
Yeah,
fine. Now that he's coming over with Max Crosby, that could
yeah,
be something.
that makes it better because less pressure on him. So I think that's definitely very great. I mean, they've done a phenomenal job. They're definitely headed in the right direction coming into this draft here. And I think the Raiders are going to be a team that these other teams are not laughing at. They're probably a little scared to go play against, both defensively and offensively.
As for my number one, first of all, you said don't get. I was getting cute. I'm not getting cute with my number one. My number one is easily it's the Los Angeles Rams. They're the most Super Bowl ready team, except for one freaking problem, and they couldn't cover a damn soul last year. They went out and got Trent McDuffie and Jaylen Watson to shore up the secondary. They kept their safeties. They kept Cam Curl to run that three safety look with Quentin Lake and Cam Kitchens. They have the best, most complete offense in football from wide receivers to a running back duo, which came out of freaking nowhere last year. They have solid tight ends and a good offensive line, and all they had to do was shore up the secondary. So what do? They go get one of the best corners in football and his running mate, who now get to sit back there with Emmanuel Forbes and those three safeties, pin their ears back, and watch one of the most dominant defensive lines go to work. I don't think I got cheap with this at
But if
all.
they're already such a great team, that doesn't really make them most improved. I agree that
They
the
had one
strongest team,
weakness. One.
but
And
that
they
made it
got the
easy. That made it easier for them to improve because they only had one void to fill.
okay.
But the Raiders were like Swiss cheese if you melted extra holes in it.
Okay.
And they found a way to fill almost all of them holes.
Are you sure they're all are you sure they're all going to work out?
I'm confident. I'm
Okay.
confident in Clint Kubiak.
Well, Clint Kubiak's not going to keep Nakobe Dean healthy.
Well, that is true, but hey, I've seen injured Eagles linebackers leave and get healthy for the rest of their careers before. So it breaks my
And no,
heart.
we are
But
not talking about Kiko Alonso.
yeah, not him though. Not him. I'm talking about Eagles that were drafted. Not stupid
Again,
trades.
the Raiders will be on everyone's top choice on every single show around
Yes,
America.
I know, Sam. I know, but they are. It's not just the obvious pick. It is the pick. They went out and made all these moves to make their team better. And I don't see a single move that they made that was stupid.
I didn't say it was anything they did was stupid. It's
I
just it's
know.
the obvious
I know.
choice. Yes, and look, they're right there too. They would look if we did top six, they'd be in my list. Not they wouldn't be six, but still, it's easy to say the Raiders. That's why I did my list the way I did. It's easy to say the Raiders.
Well, Sam.
You're not good. You're going off of the most obvious team because they were the freaking. I mean, they're picking number one for a reason. Of course, they're improved. It's obvious.
That's kind of the point of the list of the five most improved teams.
You are aware that if they decide to pick an offensive lineman at one and not Mendoza, this entire thing could be different, right?
Yes.
All right, then.
Well, you know what? No, I take it back. They could draft an offensive lineman and sign Kirk.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, then they'd be a loser. Wait till the
Yeah,
offseason winners and losers. Then we'll come talking.
That will be on my loser list.
Then we'll be coming talking. All right. Now, let's go to our five. Still need work.
So I actually want to start from 1 and work our way down here.
If we're doing that, can I please go first?
Go ahead.
Okay. My number 1 team on still needs work. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, damn. I really left them off of my list.
Oh no! See, I'm gonna come. See, I'm about to see this. You're gonna have to sit back. And give me a second here.
Okay.
Awesome. They made 3 defensive additions. That's awesome. Jonathan Allen, solid defensive tackle. Boy Mafe from the Seahawks, solid edge rusher. Brian Cook, safety from the Chiefs. They're shoring up their defense. That's awesome. You haven't addressed the offensive line of freaking again. I have seen 3. I'm trying not to raise my voice so my mic doesn't crack. I have seen 3 teams this offseason take their entire starting offensive line and sign 5 different gosh damn players, and you haven't signed one. Your entire offensive line is a joke, and they still won't do anything about it. Joe Burrow is going to retire by age 30.
Yeah, he probably will. I mean, here's some names of some players that are still out there.
Oh, good God.
You got the old wily veteran Joel Bitonio.
Please stop.
I mean, hey, for a 1-year contract to try and shore up a little bit, I mean, you got injury-riddled Elijah Vera Tucker.
He's not signed. He signed.
Oh, who did he sign with?
He signed a 3-year deal with New England.
Oh, he went to New England. Let's see. Who else? Who else got released?
Doesn't matter.
I think is McGovern available?
No.
No?
He never hit the market.
Oh, shit. They missed out on everybody.
Yes. They missed out on every single top offensive lineman on the free agent market.
Oh, man. Damn.
Well, we gave Orlando Brown a 2-year extension.
They could sign Taylor Decker.
Oh, my God. Jack Conklin, anybody?
Let's see. Who else? Cam Robinson?
Please stop.
All right.
This team is the worst
offensive
line of.
Here's a 1-year veteran to try and save Joe Burrow. Kevin Zeitler.
You need 5 guys to save Joe Burrow, not just Kevin Zeitler at 36.
Mekhi Becton.
Oh God, this just stop.
Yeah,
please stop.
There's not much hope.
I mean, for God's sakes. I mean, look, I'm just going to run down a list of freaking things here, okay? Just give me a damn second here. Tyler Biadasz, who was released early in the free agency. You didn't bring him in. All right, McGovern never got the free agency. We know that. Taylor Decker's still out there. Cool. He ain't going to go there. Trust me. John Simpson was a free agent. He went back to Baltimore. You didn't even show interest. Tyler Linderbaum was out there. You didn't show interest. Cade Mays didn't show interest. David Edwards, Zion Johnson didn't show interest. Isaac Seumalo didn't show interest. Freaking Cole Strange didn't show interest. Elgin Jenkins failed his physical with the Packers. You couldn't even show interest there. Elijah Vera Tucker, no interest. Braden Smith, no interest. I mean, good Lord, dude. Like, Garrett Bradbury. You couldn't trade a 5th-round pick for Garrett Bradbury? Like, hello? I mean, my God, dude. Like, what are we doing here? Wyatt Teller, 2 years to the Texans. Couldn't do that? But we made sure we extended Orlando Brown, who, by the way, 2 of the most contending teams in the AFC want nothing to do with.
Yeah.
I mean, Rasheed Walker, 1-year deal to the Panthers. He's going to be their left tackle this year because their left tackle has the patellar injury. Go ahead and give him a 1-year deal. Like what are we doing here, guys? This offensive line is going to be a joke again. And Joe Burrow's going to have his 5th turf toe.
He's going to have career-ending turf toe at this point.
Like what? Like what in God's green earth are they doing?
Well, there's another team on the top of my list that I have no idea what they're doing.
Go ahead.
That is another obvious pick, the New York Jets.
Oh dear.
Okay, you brought in Minka Fitzpatrick. Cool. You brought in Andre Sisco. Okay. Traded for T'Vondre Sweat. Solid move. But show me where they've actually gotten better. Geno Smith? No. Oh, at least you know they still have one of the best corner prospects of the last few years. Oh wait, never mind. Traded him away last year. Oh man, where else do we go here? Oh, you have Demario Davis. Nobody cares.
I mean, hold
And
on.
overall, it's just that Demario Davis is probably the best veteran that they brought in. And I say that over Minka Fitzpatrick because Minka Fitzpatrick's kind of been all over the place the last few years. But at least Demario Davis has that track record. Traditional middle linebacker, tackling machine. But
I
he's
will
a
say
long way away. At 37 years old,
he's still going though.
he's still going, but he's not making a big impact.
I think the Jets are improved, but again, it's the Jets. I like Minka. I like the T'Vondre Sweat trade. I like bringing in Demario Davis. They brought in Nashawn Wright. I like the moves. The Geno one is just a freaking lamb. It's such a funny one to me. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's
Tell
hilarious.
me, how many more games do you think these moves win them?
I have no idea. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're vastly improved, but they've made improvements.
I say they're just in the same boat still. I still think they're like a 3-4 win team.
Okay. I don't disagree with you. I'm not saying you're wrong.
One, because it's the Jets, but two, I just don't like. They didn't get a lot better.
They've marginally improved.
Marginally. That might even be an overstatement. But yeah, we'll go with marginally.
Okay.
So yeah, they were my number one least improved team.
Okay. I'm going to go down to my number 2 team. I have the Jaguars. They have not done. I really thought they could have built off of this past year that they had, shore up some things. They have actually lost more. Losing Devin Lloyd at linebacker, that's a playmaker that you really couldn't afford to lose. Travis Etienne finally healthy and having an offensive system that really worked for him, and they lose him to the Saints. I mean, all right, they brought in Chris Rodriguez to kind of give them another running back in the room. He's not Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Jacksonville, I really thought they'd be a little more aggressive in moves they would make, even if it wasn't in free agency, maybe a trade or two. They haven't done much. They actually just lost some key players. So they're one of my losers for that exact reason.
Okay.
So you want to jump into your number 2?
So my number 2, I got the Cleveland Browns. I'm just hitting all the prime suspects tonight, Sam.
All the prime suspects, he says.
I mean, their major improvement is a unproven Deshaun Watson coming back from injury. Let's be honest. Outside of that, the only notable moves, you sign Elgin Jenkins. They retain Tevin Jenkins.
Traded for Titus Howard.
Traded for Titus Howard. Okay. You're making some moves for the offensive line.
They also signed Zion Johnson.
Man, some stuff that the Bengals should have been doing.
Well,
We're
in
not getting
defense,
back to the Bengals.
don't please don't raise my blood pressure. But no, in defense of the Browns, their entire offensive line were free agents.
Yes, that is true. That was their
Like,
own
good
doing.
lord,
But where else have they gotten better? I mean, they didn't really go out and make any moves.
they don't have money.
They don't, because that money is tied up still with who? Mr. Watson.
Oh God, don't get me started. Don't get George started, please.
Same wide receiver room. Didn't improve. You're going to have 2 second-year running backs. Hopefully they do better. Hopefully this offensive line that's revamped can hopefully perform better. Um, hmm. What else? Nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, we still got Myles Garrett. Nothing, nothing. Carson Schlesinger, he's going to be a great player again. Had a great, phenomenal rookie year. No new additions, really. Nothing. Aside from offensive line, they have made no moves. So again, their biggest move is getting Deshaun Watson back. We are the Cleveland Browns.
Oh God, I have no words for the Cleveland Browns at this point in my life.
Yeah. They don't deserve many words. I was generous.
You are generous. All right, my number 3. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Now, I think they've gotten better, but there's still some glaring issues. I look, Garrett Bradbury is a solid center, but Drew Dahlman retiring is such a killer
It
after
is.
the year he had last year and how good that offensive line worked together. They brought Kobe Bryant in at safety. I think that's a really solid pickup. Cam Lewis, another guy they brought in from Buffalo. So they've kind of replaced, Kevin Byard for a younger Kobe Bryant. Cam Lewis is kind of your Nashon Wright replacement, more versatile. They brought in Devin Bush, who had a really good year with Cleveland last year as a linebacker. And Tremaine Edmonds was good for the Bears, but Devin Bush and they've gotten a little more athletic and a little more faster on defense with Devin Bush. He's actually carved
Mm-hmm.
out a solid career and is coming off a really good year in Cleveland. So I like their moves. The bigger issues, well, like I said, offensive line still. I like Garrett Bradbury. Can he replace Drew Dahlman? I don't know. Ozzie Trapillo is not playing next year because of that knee injury he suffered in the playoffs. They signed Jedrick Wills to a 1-year deal. I'd hope that is not their stopgap option till he didn't play last year. Gee, if only there was a left tackle that we needed on a 1-year deal who has experience with Ben Johnson. Why the hell is Taylor Decker not a Bear yet?
No idea.
And a big reason why they honestly didn't get past the Rams. I like the secondary. I think it's still, like I said, I love the Kobe Bryant addition. Cam Lewis is going to help. I think Devin Bush and TJ Edwards could be really good. They still cannot get after the quarterback. They don't have the pass rush to get after the quarterback. Outside of Montez Sweat, they need to go make a big splash there. And I mean, dude, call the Raiders, see what the asking price is, and go from there. But I think those are their two glaring needs. They need offensive line help. Unless Taylor Decker is really considering retirement, which apparently is what possibly was causing the issue in Detroit. They thought he was going to retire. He ultimately said no. So he clearly wants to keep playing, but then the Bears, the Lions didn't want to pay him. So that's why he has to be released. Like, Taylor Decker should have been a Bear, like 3 weeks ago.
Nah, he should be a Lion. He needs to go back.
Yeah, well, honestly, the Lions would probably want him back right about now, but
Yeah.
they need offensive line help. I think the Drew Dahlman retirement really hurts. Like I say, Garrett Bradbury's fine. He was fine last year in New England. But I think they need to get that offensive line shored up for this year at least till Ozzie Trapillo's back healthy, and they need to get a pass rush. They do not have a pass rush. So that's my number 3 team that still needs improvement.
Okay. My number 3 team. I'm glad we're getting into some of these teams that are quote unquote contenders. Because my team at number 3, hold your breath, get ready. I got the Seattle Seahawks. Now, here's my reasons, right?
I got to hear this.
You lost. I get you still have Cooper Cup. You lost Shaheed.
Hey, then. Shaheed resigned.
Oh, he did? Hold
Yeah.
on. Are you sure?
Yes.
What? When did he resign?
Like the first day of free agency.
Was it really? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, my other reasons.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you have a Twitter account.
Forget Twitter, it's X. Losing Kenneth Walker was a huge loss with no notable replacement. Their current replacement option is an injured Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah, and I mean, they brought
That
in Wilson
doesn't
from the
scream
Packers.
that doesn't scream most improved. Now, these teams on this list for least improved, it doesn't mean that they're bad teams. I still think the Seahawks are a Super Bowl contender, but they just didn't improve, which
Yeah,
it's hard to
exactly.
do when you just win a Super Bowl. Players get signed to bigger deals. They also lost Tariq Woolen to the Eagles, but you still keep some of your core pieces together, and they're still a contender. But I don't feel like they've improved at all.
No, like you say, they kept Shaheed. They were able to keep Josh Jobe. I mean, yeah, the Kenneth Walker one really hurts. And like I said, if Charbonnet didn't tear his ACL in the playoffs, I'd feel a lot better about it. But
Yeah. I feel
I
fine. It's
mean,
kind of like almost like you're passing the torch off to Charbonnet while Kenneth Walker moves on to a more lucrative deal.
exactly.
But right now, your RB1 is on the injured reserve, hurt. And you don't know if he's going to be back ready for the beginning of the season.
I mean, look, they did sign Emmanuel Wilson away from the Packers. He had 400. He had 496 rushing yards with 3 touchdowns last year. He's actually been a solid rotation. He had 500 yards the year before that. He's actually been a
What's
solid rotational
There
back
we go.
in Green Bay, but
There's the word. Solid
rotational.
rotational back.
I get that, but I wonder if they'll probably attack a running back in the draft.
Yeah. Or maybe they still trade for Kamara.
That could be an option
I think that the Saints should deal him. Deal him while you could still get something for him. I think they could get a fourth for him, maybe a fifth.
easily.
But yeah, Seahawks, they find their way on the list at number 3 because they haven't improved. They're still basically the same team. They'll be fine without Tariq Woolen. The Kenneth Walker one is definitely very notable, especially not bringing in someone that's even 75% of what Kenneth Walker is. And hinging all that hope on Zach Charbonnet to fully recover and be the same player, the same producer that he was. Actually, they might need him to be even better than he was last year.
Yeah. All right. So, are we down to our number 4 teams already? Holy crap.
Nope.
My number 4 team, I have as the other team from the Super Bowl. I have the New England Patriots. Now, I would like to say, I think their offensive line actually has gotten better. I like the addition of Elijah Vera Tucker. You're putting him at left guard next to Campbell. You're moving Jarrett Wilson from left guard to his natural position at center now that you traded Garrett Bradbury. And you still have Michael Wenu at right guard. And you still have Morgan Moses at right tackle. Now, I could see New England drafting a right tackle at some point in this draft for when Morgan Moses retires. So I like what they've done there. I like the additions on defense. I think Draymond Jones is a slight upgrade over Kalavian Chaseon because he is a more all-around defensive end, a little bit better against the run. I love Kevin Byard. I mean, Jalen Hawkins had a really good time in New England, but I mean, Kevin Byard led the league in interceptions. You got him for a 1-year deal. And then you get Romeo Doubs from the Packers. So I think he fills in a very nice role with the group of pass catchers they have. However, this offense in the postseason was absolutely dreadful. And the reason behind it is they didn't have that number one pass catcher, and they still don't have it.
Nope.
Romeo Doubs does not move the needle as much as Patriots fans think it does.
It's a regression. It's called how it is. I mean, he's not bad, but he's
not
not
a wide receiver.
He's not going to be the same producer that even Diggs was, and even Diggs was borderline wide receiver one. But
exactly.
He was the best they had.
But you saw in the Super Bowl against those athletic freak athletes in Seattle secondary, Stephon Diggs is not Stephon Diggs anymore.
No.
But they still need to get that number one pass catcher. They have to find it. I thought Jaylen Waddle could have been that. They chose not to. Like I said, unless there is some backdoor agreement with Philadelphia that says, okay, this is what we're going to give you for A.J. Brown, and they've both agreed to it, but nothing will be announced till after June. But they need to get that number one wide receiver or tight end or whatever it is. Yeah. They have to.
I think the draft will be very telling. If they don't go after a wide receiver in like the first 3 rounds, honestly, probably even the first 2 rounds, it's probably telling that the trade is final without being official.
There you go.
But
so,
yeah, I mean, I also had the Patriots in my number 4. Again, still a good team, still going to compete and contend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't get better, though. Not necessarily worse, but they definitely didn't get better. Receiving core didn't get better. They didn't really make many upgrades defensively. I mean, they lost Chason. I don't think they replaced him with anybody.
Chason?
Yeah.
Well, no, they got Draymond Jones from Baltimore, so.
But again, is that really an upgrade?
It's an upgrade. He's better against the run than Chason is.
Better against the run, okay. Okay,
Byard is
sacks.
Byard,
not bad.
Byard is the freaking big one. I mean, you get Byard on a 1-year deal. You put him back with Vrabel. You pair him with back in the safety. Now you have 2 elite. You have 2 really good corners. I mean, the defense is not the problem in New England. Their defense is going to get after you still.
Their defense kept them in the game in the Super Bowl.
The defense was exhausted by the end of the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But definitely would have liked to see more out of them addressing their receiving core than Romeo Doubs.
But again, then if you get A.J. Brown after June, and
then it's a different story. You're looking at A.J. Brown, Romeo Doubs, and Kayshon Boutte as your top 3, and then you still
hold on. Well, hold on. If we're trading them A.J. Brown, they're not keeping Kayshon Boutte and Demario Douglas. One of those two's coming back.
Give us Demario. I love me some Kayshon Boutte, but I'll take Demario Douglas.
I would too. After we draft Omar Cooper at 23.
Man, Smitty's just never going to get a chance to be the true number 1.
Are you really sitting there saying that a rookie Omar Cooper is going to be a wide receiver 1 over Devontae Smith? What are you doing?
No, but I'm saying that it's going to take a lot of targets away from him.
I'm not building my team like the Seahawks, where they had to trade for a wide receiver 2 at the deadline because the other ones couldn't do it. I'm thinking ahead here.
But then the other one started producing more later on in the season.
Oh, whatever. I give up. This guy wants Hollywood Brown as his wide receiver too.
Nah, he can go back to returning punts.
Ew, no. All right. Did you give your number 4?
I did. I had
Oh,
the
yeah, you
same.
went the Seahawks.
No, my Seahawks were my number 3. Patriots.
Oh. Oh, okay.
And I'm hijacking the last. Because the team on my list is the Philadelphia Eagles. Did I steal yours, Sam?
Well, we can go jive
Now,
into this
I
now.
think we can both agree this isn't anything that we are upset about. We've kind of expected this. The way that the team
Yeah.
is currently constructed, we were going to lose top players. You can't keep them all.
No.
And things that they need to address, they can't address everything in free agency. So some things are just going to have to come down to addressing it in the draft or later in the offseason.
Yeah.
Would I have liked to maybe get one of these safeties that were out there that got like 8 million, 7 million? Maybe. But I trust that there is a bigger plan for the future as to why they did not move on any of them.
I have a theory for it, and I'm going to bring it up right now because Birds of the Gridiron, we have a few other things that I want to talk about this Friday night. So here's where I look at it, okay? They have not only let Reed Blankenship leave, they have traded Sidney Brown. Thank God. Hi, Dennis. Hope you're having a great day, buddy. If you go look at the Seahawks and how they operate with their safeties, Nick Imanwari is the Devin Witherspoon of their safety room. He will play any position you want. He will play in the box. He will play in the nickel. He will play deep safety. He will play man-to-man. He will play zone, whatever you want him to do. The Eagles do not have a safety of Nick Imanwari's caliber on their team. Reed Blankenship is not that versatile. Sidney Brown can't get on the field on defense. Andrew
Akuba's not
Makuba,
that type of player.
no, Makuba is, I think, going to play the Julian Love role of sitting back there. You're the last line of defense, and if that ball's in the air, I expect you to take it away.
Yeah.
That's Makuba's role.
And honestly, because Makuba is not the best tackler in the box.
No. He got better
He did
as the year went on.
And that's fine, because that's why there's 2 safety roles. You don't want both your safeties to be the same player. You want a guy who could be more versatile, who can go and make them tackles, support and stop in the run, and occasionally make some plays in pass coverage. And then you have your Makuba, who just takes everything away downfield.
Exactly. And this is a deep safety class. And the 3 names that you keep seeing, the kid from Oregon, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren from Toledo, and apparently the Eagles have shown a lot of early interest in South Carolina defensive back Jalen Kilgore, who is another one of those guys who is versatile. He can play all over the field in the secondary, deep safety, in the box, in the nickel. I know people keep saying, first of all, let me just explain this again. The Philadelphia Eagles are not going into the season with their safeties being Marcus Epps and Andrew Makuba. It's not happening. They're going to draft a long-term answer at safety, and they're looking for someone who can fill that role of because in today's NFL, you need versatile defensive backs. You see with Cooper DeJean how pivotal he is because he can play so many spots on the field. Quinyon Mitchell can play both sides of the field and travel with the team's best receiver if he has to. Now that they have, and like I said, we talked about this on Birds last Friday. We like the additions. Reek Woolen, good addition. Hollywood Brown, solid addition. Johnny Munt, Arnold Ebiketie, solid additions. They still need a long-term answer at safety, and they need They still need an edge rusher. Now, do they still look into the Jonathan Grenard trade? They could, and they still. Another reason I have them on my still needs to improve. What did I tell you on Friday? They don't have any long-term answers on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah.
They still need to work on that. But back to the safety thing. They are looking for someone that can play all over the field and can just be that versatile weapon along with Cooper DeJean. And like we said, we saw what happened. We knew this was going to happen. We knew Nakobe Dean was going to leave. We knew Jalen Phillips was going to leave. We knew. Look, people are like, oh, they really tried to get Phillips back. If Jalen Phillips didn't sign Sunday night, he wasn't coming back. If you let him get to the market, he's not going to come back. But they needed to. This is what the reality is. And the fact that they have these players coming up on big money deals. Jordan Davis just got his. Jalen Carter's going to get his. Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. Those are the four. Those are the four guys that they have zeroed in on is this is the anchor of our defense, and this is who we're going to build around. And you're going to start seeing the transition from cost-efficient defense for the high-powered offense to cost-efficient, younger, cheaper players on offense too, so we can pay our defensive players the money they've earned. You're going to start seeing that transition over the next 2 to 3 years. It's going to happen. So, sorry. Bye, A.J. Brown. Sorry.
Yep.
Dallas Goedert, probably going to be his last year in Philadelphia. Saquon Barkley, does he last the entirety of his contract here? I don't know. I think the one that's going to be around for a lot longer probably will be Devontae Smith. But again, things are changing. Landon Dickerson just voided the entire year of his contract in 2028. Things are changing. And like I said, it's not really that they're a bad team. Like if the Eagles fielded the team now, they're probably still a 10-11 win team. There's too much talent not to be. But yeah, that's where, like I said, if you think the Eagles are going into the season with their safeties being Marcus Epps and Andrew Makuba, you're out of your freaking mind.
Yeah.
But they've showed some interest so far in the safeties in this draft. I think Jalen Kilgore had a top 30 visit, and we're going to keep tracks of the top 30 visits on Birds for the remainder of the draft process. I gotta go through them on Twitter, but I think I've got a pretty good idea of what we've seen so far. But I don't disagree with you having the Eagles. I have them too at number 5. I think it's perfect because again, it's what they've lost.
Yeah,
and I think it's most of the ones that have left. Usually we've had replacements for. Like when we lost Josh Sweat, well, we have Jalen Hunt, but now Jalen Phillips. That should be Nolan Smith, but I don't trust Nolan Smith right now. I like him; he's still a really good player, but he's got to stay healthy, man.
yeah.
And I mean, the one that I'm still like, I know it was big for the locker room and the leadership of the defense. I'm not too worried about Nakobe Dean because they have Jahad Campbell, which, according to now all Eagle fans, because now Jahad Campbell stinks, which awesome. That's how we over emotionally think in Philadelphia. Oh, favorite player leaves, this backup stinks. But no, I think, but again, this is what Howie Roseman prepared you for. He told you that it was going to be a heavy offseason of draft and development. They'll sprinkle in the free agent signing here or there, which they've been more active than I expected. I think Reek Woolen fits perfectly. I think Hollywood Brown could fit depending on what his role is. But we knew they were going to lose players. And I've agreed with you too. I think not Blankenship I don't think that's out of their price range.
No, it's not. It was a decision to move on from there.
Yeah, and then again, people took out of context Reed saying it was the first Houston made me feel wanted for the first time as a person, as a player. I don't think that was a dig at the Eagles, and if it was, then I don't really care. He's not an Eagle anymore. Jalen Phillips, same thing, said, oh, the Panthers showed how much they wanted me. No, Philly showed you how much they wanted you, and you saw $5 million more a year and said, I'm out of here.
They showed you the money bags. That's it.
Yeah, that's not being wanted.
That's being wanted. Needed. They needed you that badly that they paid $31 million.
Being wanted, a want versus a need is the supermodel girlfriend who has an ego issue that needs a good-looking man in her life so she looks good to the paparazzi versus the girl who doesn't have the stuff that she has, but she's going to love you for the rest of your life. You're going to come home happy to her every day. That's the difference between a want and a need. So there's your dating advice with Sam Nelson for 2026. But anyway.
Dr. Sam.
But no, I don't find it unfair that the Eagles are on this list. They haven't improved. But again, let's see what the draft holds.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to steal the whole conversation part of the Eagles. You have anything you want to add on to this?
No. That was it. I mean, it is what it is. Just in wait and see mode with them.
Yeah. And I mean, we're still waiting to see what happens with AJ. I personally think that's why the Eagles have this much cap space shored up right now and freed up, because I think they're preparing for the dead cap hit. A lot of people say it's like, oh, maybe they're playing for a Jonathan Grenard trade. Well, Jonathan Grenard wants a new contract. We don't need to be adding more contracts to this right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to add another edge rusher, and if Howie Roseman pulls it off, I'll be happy, but it's going to be interesting to see how they attack the draft and how they attack the rest of this offseason. I'm very intrigued by it.
Everything will be telling in time.
That is true. All right, Mr. Adams, anything else you want to add before hitting the old dusty trail for the evening?
That's about all I got.
All right, everyone. Big thank you to everyone who joined us tonight here on Unbiased. Had a great talk. Talked a lot of NFL free agency. Hopefully, we got you guys up to date with everything that's happened. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. Normal schedule rest of the week, hitting home Wednesday at 10 a.m. Guys, it's finally freaking here. Opening week, opening day is Thursday, even though the Yankees and Giants play Wednesday, but we don't care about that game. Opening day is Thursday. Dustin and I will have you guys ready for everything around Major League Baseball this year. Phillies locked up Christopher Sanchez. We'll talk about that. The Atlanta Braves' entire 26-man rosters on the injured list before the season starts. We'll talk about that. We'll give some predictions. Who may be the MVPs, who may win the Cy Youngs, who may win Managers of the Year, some Rookies of the Year. We'll have some predictions for that show on Hitting Home Wednesday at 10. And then this week for Birds, we'll have some stuff to talk about. We'll have some Eagles potential draft talk, maybe some draft targets. We'll get you guys an updated list on the top 30 visits that they've had so far, because they've already started to reel in a few here. They've met with some Penn State players already. They had a visit with Omar Cooper as well. We'll talk about that. Maybe we'll talk a little future of the Eagles wide receiver room, because it could look a lot different by the time September rolls around. So that is what is on tap for you guys the rest of the week. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show. We will see you guys for Hitting Home on Wednesday morning. Have a safe rest of your night, and we'll see you next time. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.